First week of playoffs continues here in the NACE Star League as our spring 2023 playoffs moves to Counter-Strike for our round of 12. I'm Time Delight, joined alongside me is Birdie, and our first match, a personal banger, considering the team playing is actually hosting finals in just 2 weeks' time. Butler coming into this, taking on St. Clair Academy. What are your opening thoughts on this one, Birdie? And obviously, how you feeling about playoffs coming up?
Feeling great. You know, it's lovely to be back here on a Friday night watching some Counter-Strike. But it's an interesting note, as you mentioned. This is the round of 12. For those of you who might be confused, that it's happening because there's 12 teams in playoffs, but the first 4 teams get a bye. And so we have this weird situation. We've got this, eight teams in this one bracket who'll be moving on kind of into a normal kind of playoff bracket. But as you mentioned, first game, Butler versus St. Clair. It's interesting because I don't think we've seen St. Clair's Saints on this broadcast just yet, and so I haven't had to get a good look at it so far. But Butler, on the other hand, is a team we've seen several times. But in an interesting fashion, we actually haven't gone to see that much about them. It's a little bit strange. The teams that they've played have been a little bit interesting. If I just go and check my notes real quick, they've played Wayne State. They won that game. They lost to Drexel and they lost to OTSU, who we'll be seeing later on tonight. They lost to OTSU twice, though, but there was a weird little asterisk behind that because they had a substitute in at the time, and so we didn't really get to see them at their full strength either. So coming into this, what I assume is with what is their full roster, we'll get to see them 100% again, taking on St. Clair.
And a weird spot for St. Clair as well. Yesterday, they played Drexel in Rainbow Six Siege. The winner of this, by the way, plays Drexel in Counter-Strike. By the way, St. Clair won the game yesterday, if you're at all curious. They move on to play somebody in that bracket. That was the first round of 12 yesterday. Some also other housekeeping things. The first round of Valorant playoffs is going on as well. If you look up at your URL bar and for some reason you're watching Counter-Strike and you didn't think you were, you probably added an accidental 3. Take that away, twitch.tv/NACE Star League. Go ahead and watch some Valorant. We won't get mad at you, however. For the time being, at least, this is the better first-person shooter. We'll table that argument later and have a conversation about these teams specifically. These are the 4 and 5 seeds, if I'm reading my notes correctly, between 2 standings, and you're in a weird spot, or sorry, the 2 and 5 seeds between 2 standings. And St. Clair, you'd expect at face value to come into the swinging, but Butler also had some pretty steep competition down the West Central Conference.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. We can have into tonight's actual schedule, though. We do have 2 best of 3s we previously mentioned. As we said, mentioned Butler University versus St. Clair College, and then later on Ontario Tech versus George Mason. Butler and Ontario, as previously mentioned, did come from the same conference in actuality, and so assuming they get past the next side of the bracket too, maybe we see a rematch from them once again. But that's a conversation for later, because we do have to kind of isolate. We'll talk a little bit more about tonight's matches.
Let's take a look at our rosters for this match specifically. Both rosters popping up. Butler will start on your left, St. Clair on your right, and the conversation about these teams is always a contentious one. Forfeit wins for Butler. They are 3-3, but 2 of those victories are against Drexel and Penn, and both of those are forfeits. Their roster coming in with Phantom X, Viking, Burnout, not Burnout, Ninja 35, and TMFKYAN. If you have a pronunciation for that one, please let me know.
I think we've just been saying Cayenne for the most part in previous iterations. So listen, we'll play with it. You know what I mean? The other side of things, St. Clair, Petro, Rye. I think is what we've been going with in the past, where I've seen St. Clair play. Tanner, Abyss, and Milk. If we get to talk about Milk that much, because that's Milk. Let's be honest. You want to see Milk in the kill feed.
Hopefully on the left side of the kill feed, doing the killing, having the killed. That's totally how that sentence go. And Butler coming into this matchup is the underdog. Let's get that out of the way. They are the team that on paper should not do as well in this matchup, but it's the first round of playoffs. This is the round of 12, and these are the 8 and 9 seeds. The only reason that St. Clair is as higher up as they are is because of those forfeit victories. And you could be looking at this and saying, oh yeah, Butler didn't win those matches, but they probably should have. They probably could have, should they have given the opportunity. You can't say a forfeit win is an undeserved one because they very well could have won it 2-0 anyway. That's never a conversation where you completely count out one team over another just because it says FFW on the standing. So Butler's still very much included in this conversation, but there is a little asterisk right next to it, like you mentioned earlier. And Birdie, what do they have to do? Considering I believe we have our map pool established already. to try and set themselves forward in this best of 3.
Right.
Speaking of our map pool, there we go. Here's our map pool. Map 1 is Vertigo.
Yeah, something I think we've seen Butler play in the past. I don't quite recall too much about it, but then heading into Nuke after that, 2 very tactical maps to start off the series, and then to potentially close it on Inferno. Very classic, although tactical map can be very puggy if you need it to. It's where you tend to see individuals shine in the moment. Lots of timings being abused. You know, classic Inferno, classical Counter-Strike. But I don't know. I think that Butler, I think there was that asterisk was a huge one. Losing out on Viking, one of your star players in what was the conference plans at the times. What do? You know what I mean? You come into that series and there's just so much firepower missing, but now they've got some time. They've had a lot of time to, I would say, regroup, work out what's been going on, and actually come into this with a new shot. I think Vertigo's a good map to do that. Usually if you're going into Vertigo and the other team isn't prepared, that could be something that can come back to bite you. It's something where mid-round plays can be really difficult. The lurkers, especially over towards that B-bomb site, can be extremely frustrating over towards mid. If rotations get cut off, that sort of thing. And Nuke even more so. If you're lackluster in your rotations, especially on that CT side, you could find yourself split between bomb sites and have no way to get back in.
And Vertigo, by no means a match or a map that is as one-sided towards the team that picked it as it used to be. Obviously also a situation where you can see heroes fall fairly quickly. I believe earlier today, if I am remembering my days of the week correctly, sometimes they escape me, C9 lost and was sent out of contention for the final major in Counter-Strike Global Offensive on Vertigo, which was a little unfortunate standing for them, but it's one that they'll have to deal with as they move into, I believe, DreamHack Dallas and the last Premier Fall or Spring Final in DC. But Vertigo being map 1, I think leads still towards St. Clair Saints' favor. They are the team favorite in the series, and they picked the map, but by no means is Butler completely counted out of the conversation. I'm still looking for probably a 16-10, 16-11 St. Clair's favor, but if Butler pick up a few key rounds, a couple pistols, then you're looking pretty good.
Yeah, I definitely think if both teams come to play, it could definitely go easily all 3 maps. Not just that, I think this could be incredibly close series the entire way through, but it's going to hinge on whether or not Viking comes into this series and leads by example. You know what I mean? If he's the person that was missing the key piece to the puzzle that was, I don't want to use an excuse, but we use an excuse on their behalf, then you want it to be good.
Well, let's really highlight 2 things. Number 1, this series will put you up against Drexel, of whom is no slouch by any means. The second of which, and I think maybe a little bit more important globally here, Corsair. Now, I don't know if anybody uses Corsair. I personally have in the past. My computer at home basically is decked out with Corsair merch across the board. But Corsair is at the top of the game with all the latest innovations in peripherals, and the NACE Star League is powered by Corsair. So if you want to click the Twitch panel below, just scroll down after you on full screen and type Corsair in Twitch chat. You can check out the latest gaming gear for yourself, or maybe for your friends, because, who doesn't like things up?
Exactly. I love me some Corsair. I've had some few Corsair things in the past, always delivered. It's just, as time went on, it moved on to other things, but I would always be happy to go back. Always great stuff over there for sure. But focusing back on the series too, let's talk about these maps a little bit more, because we've got Vertigo, right? We've got Nuke. Think about the situation that you are in as one of these teams banning to get to these points. If you are coming into this banning out all these puggy maps, surely you've got 2 teams clashing with tactical style here, right? In Vertigo, you talk about it's one of these maps where you have to take map control from spawn. If you lack it, you've got nothing to work with, right? So we can actually go ahead and get into that straight into first map of this series, pistol round, Butler University versus St. Clair.
And Butler will start on the CT side, as is their right. St. Clair choosing this first map of play, leading them to some semblance of an advantage, but not a declarable one to any means. St. Clair is sending it straight on towards this A side, and fairly quickly at that. They want to try and take control, but they're walking straight into a stack. Rye finds one, is now trying to get the bomb down fairly early, and Milk finds a follow-up. Bomb plant, flank setup, but this retake fairly quickly just the same.
And 2v3, as that bomb goes down, he's stuck on the bomb site, will have to be isolated, but Phantom trying to do the same towards this mid lurk, but losing track of it. There it is, gunfight to come through, but the clock to come out on top. Petro with the frag behind to trade back in for the 1v2 possession of the bomb, but unfortunately, there's just too many angles to worry about there. The USP, which has been repossessed towards the T side, will find St. Clair their first round.
Good decisive setup as well there for St. Clair. You send 4 players, splitting between that scaffolding and main site selection, and then you have the flank setup as well, making sure they're caught out at seemingly every point possible. And Butler, well, it probably cost them, because, well, yeah, they were there, they weren't aware, and that was the problem.
So, no reinvestment to come back through for Butler, at least not yet. It's not going to be warranted. P90 on the board for St. Clair. That's not a gun you see too often. No early action, just kind of setting ground contact towards mid from the USP Abyss, and his teammate right behind him will find that first frag, but all of a sudden, tension and chaos.
Oh.
As the mid starts to fork back in. Oh no, the AK's been dropped. Can they manage to recover it? Though likely not, because the round has dissolved a little bit quicker than it might have been anticipated. St. Clair with that quick follow-up. Look at the damage that's been dealt there. It was only 1 frag, though. You know, we were quite close to 3 kills.
It's close to dangerous, but Butler did not finish off what they needed. Bonus round now set up here for St. Clair, saving over what they had. Petro does fully buy up instead of going with just an SMG for this bonus round, so should they lose this, St. Clair will have a little bit of a chaotic buy scenario. But Butler also already has a chaotic buy scenario. 2 MP9s, a FAMAS, and 2 A1Ss on the board. Difficult position for them to be in, because if St. Clair can catch them off early in these fights and maybe even drop a rifle, that significantly limits this Butler defense.
Question is, in rounds like this, what do you do on the CT side to make sure that St. Clair doesn't walk up to you on a bomb site and just hit it with all their utility? You don't have so much as your own as to be able to just push them back at all costs, and that's not an early frag you want to be losing out on. It's over towards that A site. Towards mid now. Petro, once again, the opening frags got 6 kills so far this game. So much impact as the B-bomb site continues to lose players. It's crunched in towards the generator as well. The MP9 will follow suit as well. Viking, listen, the man you look towards in these situations to be able to recover with, that is, MP9 to find the first, but 4 more kills to find them of the round.
Honestly, I think this is just a save for Viking. Obviously, you can try and take rifles away, but if you only kill Abyss or you die and drop the FAMAS, that's just nothing gained whatsoever. And this should be a disengage, no real reason to try and take this, and Viking seems to be following that mindset just the same. The problem is they're being flanked from where they previously left, and Abyss may not have the weapon advantage in this fight, but certainly has the element of surprise. Unluckily, they choose incorrectly, as Viking is just patiently waiting at the top of spawn, has seen Abyss, now looking for this kill. We'll take the shots and we'll find the kill, but now do they survive after only taking away that SMG? That was the possible problem. Now being caught out as they sit on the backside of stairs, they will ... keep the FAMAS and find both of those 2 kills. What? Okay, that's gross.
It looked like that second kill was running, which was kind of funny, but I would say what's important here for St. Clair, what's really convincing to me as to how good this opening start to the game is they're not just, I don't say playing a standard Vertigo, but they're not even really pressuring the A side of the map yet. You know, they found that opening doing the last round, but where's the map control? You know, it's out towards B, it's out towards mid. It's showing there's a lot of depth to the way they're playing this, and they have a lot of options to work with, which is really important for a map like Vertigo, because whenever you start losing openings somewhere else, you need to look elsewhere. As Milk, once again, this T side continuing to deliver, and that FAMAS does just the same.
Viking finding 5 kills between the previous round and now, 4 of those with a FAMAS. Milk, with this op-out, has been flashed off the angle, but isn't behind the wall as they think. Somehow they still survive the fight and win it at that. So St. Clair have regained that man advantage and now have full A site control, because why not? And Butler's none the wiser. This should be a free kill for Petro if they find the timing. Viking, I believe, has been seen on their jump down, and there's no way they clear the close corner of elevator, right? Unless Petro has been seen. He is not.
Oh, with tap.
Okay.
I was gonna say, not quite ready for the second player, but he's able to adjust off the spray. Burnout taken down. Petro's closing on double-digit kills already, and I feel like we've seen one real gun round come out from Butler. That's kind of terrifying, and the AWP as well. The entry up towards the B site. How often do you see that on Vertigo?
Not as consistently as I think you'd especially see with St. Clair. I don't think that's going to stop anytime soon.
No.
If I see Milk just play aggressive, I'm honestly not going to be surprised at this point, considering how far forward you were in a 3v3 in a round in which Butler did not have full rifles. It's a little scary. Op now for Butler, though, so a caveat has been added to this round. I'm surprised Petro hasn't had their head removed from the rest of their body after that peek down ramp, but luckily they're still alive. St. Clair in this 5v5, their main goal is just using utility and gaining some control because of how long of angles Butler's just happy to hold with their current rifle setup.
You can see, too, Butler have been forced to position 3 players over towards the speed bomb site early on. They're just too scared of losing those early frags, and what it's cost them is presence towards A. You've got a Viking aggressor here, but Burnout's holding this kind of off angle for the trade if needed. And, okay, CT side coming alive with 2 of these frags, but he's ready for the trade. Oh, Burnout saved him. The B bomb site having been defended as well. The bomb not in position to be recovered, at least not yet. A 1v4 situation for Milk. The AWP in hand as he grabs 1. 40 seconds left to work with here. He needs to recover this bomb.
It's stuck on the bridge to A ramp. That's a problem because they're now worried about a flank, of which hasn't been set up, but currently is being put in that favor. Milk does not have the time. Regardless of the 30 seconds left in the clock, they either need the kills or the bomb. Both would be favorable, but neither is realistic at this point. They will try and run for it or run for the hills, and even if they did do the latter, they'd run straight into a trap set up in T-spawn. I don't know if Milk survives this round, and if they do, it's just going to be at the bottom of A because there's no easy way to get this bomb down, or no way to do it whatsoever. Oh, he's going to die too. Maybe? No, he's safe. He was aware of it. Smart play.
Oh, made a little bit of sound, but yeah, Butler's not really hunting, and I would say that's honestly the right play to make. You have so much to lose by trying to hunt this AWP. Winning your first gun round, keeping 3 players alive, that's extremely important. Look at the money they got in the back pocket. It gives them just enough to come back in with everything they've got. It gives them a little bit of buffer room to work with in case they lose out this round, or maybe they win it, but they keep 1 player alive. That sort of thing. Having that buffer in Counter-Strike is so incredibly important because especially on Vertigo, utility can matter so much for denying control over towards A, to making sure you don't get lurked out towards mid, towards the speed bomb site. But this is a quick change of pace.
Send it. Kaya and caught off guard, just waiting in the back corner. I believe they've been seen, but they're not cleared for some reason. Abyss was looking the wrong way, and a follow-up headshot is found. Now just 1 HP taken away for Rye. Doesn't matter, apparently, considering the frags are still there, and it's a 3v2 post plant again here for St. Clair on the B side.
Could this be one they motivate themselves to go for? It might revolve around this op of Burnout to find that first frag. Milk. Would he convince himself to go for the swing? I feel like as a player, after you've heard a shot pop off, it's not really something you want to go for. And St. Clair, just such a comfortable position too. I feel like if you're anyone on this team, you're telling your players, listen, it could be a long best of 3. Let's make sure we get this early lead before we get ahead of ourselves. And Viking being hunted for that M4. Burnout will save him in the long run, but that's another round win for the T side.
You can save rifles, but you can't save a round if you're in that situation for Butler. And how do they hold long-term for those rounds? Because it seems like they're just being caught off guard by a combination of utility usage and St. Clair hounding them. The 1 round Butler's picked up thus far has been off of straight-up trades, and fairly good ones at that, but ones where St. Clair just wasn't ready, and Butler really required a weird smoke setup or an off-angle played around a lack of utility. That is not something you can rely on long-term, especially on the CT side of Verdict.
And look, they're looking to try to repeat it too. It's time that the Molly burning them out. Smoke will be used to try to force the gunfight back in, but once again, call utility. I'm not sure how this keeps happening. This Milk finds a kill fully blind at the AWP, and the bomb site's been emptied once again. Smokes to allow for the plant, but Burnout's got the cross for the bomb, and it's fallen out of position. All of a sudden, CT's a chance to go on the offensive and make sure that it doesn't go down. 1:20 left on the clock, and they've got that man advantage, but in through the bomb site, Abyss finds a double off the back of the Galil, and Burnout, what a reaction. Force Milk in for the 1v1, and he's got it. I can't believe that's just happened.
Proactivity as well there for St. Clair. I thought he was going to pick it up. I'm surprised Burnout decided to hold W there, considering how close it could have been. If you limit your 1v1s, you make it a little bit more possible, but Milk, aware of his position after that first kill found in the 1v2, made things so much more difficult. It was basically the op battle long term, and Milk came out on top of it, bragging out of his mind. Oh, and they clear Viking. That's a problem for Butler early.
If you're Viking, you need that kill too. Absolutely need that kill. You relied on for situations like that. You need to be the brick wall that St. Clair crashed into while speeding. That's outrageous. Ninja is definitely gonna feel upset about that one.
It's a feels bad man moment and a half. Butler on this defensive side has to hold strong, and they do have burnout over towards that A site. And helpful with the op, considering you can hold down just a single long angle by yourself. You find a kill, you back away. You don't find a kill, you also back away, but you also save time for your team to rotate over. The problem is, here for Butler, well, they're not heading over towards that A side. The op will play no further part in this site defense because Rye just held W straight through. Kyan finds one kill, but the flank setup in through mid is what costs Butler their sight once more. And Burnout left alone in another 1vx scenario, this time a retake of B in a 1v3.
What's outrageous about that is Tango got flashed going into the bomb site, so it was just one player on the C side entering the entire thing and just blew it wide open. It's crazy. This B bomb site seems so vulnerable. I would actually say, like, if we don't see a pause after this, I'm not really sure how Butler's going to be able to adjust. This is something that's going to take some conversation to be able to adjust to, because it's one thing to lose gunfights, but when you're consistently just being overwhelmed, even when you've got the majority of your team like showing presence towards a region of the map, it's something that needs to be talked about.
Do they save this off? That's the real question. I believe they've been seen. They do find a kill onto Tangoat, and they will keep the... Oh, no, they won't. Milk plays the game of Five Nights at Freddy's, jump scare on a ramp, and the Brazil sets in with a less than ideal final kill to a round.
All right, 6-round differential. St. Clair with the lead on their T side. Now, Vertigo, let's talk about that. Is this where you would expect St. Clair to be?
I think for St. Clair, yes. Looking at how dominant they've been, of course, beating Kennesaw earlier in the season, looking good through and through, and on their own map pick, it looks like they know what they want to do. And the answer is predominantly take mid control, force Butler out of position, or, in some cases, just have Abyss frag out, because why not? No! Would that have been an ace? Was he just like 6 HP from an ace?
I think so, maybe.
Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, he was 6 health from an ace. Effing chat for Abyss.
A tragedy, for sure. One I'm sure Butler aren't really going to be thinking about. I mean, an ace to the other team doesn't really mean much when you're 7 rounds in the hole. But another gun round here to try to make up for it. Burnout's AWP, I feel like it needs to be a factor that comes into play here, because it's currently playing over towards this A site, but where has the AWP of St. Clair been positioned? It's been consistently over towards B. None of that's going to matter, though, because it's, once again, the pace has been switched up. Currently, it's in the right place over towards this A site, but that side hulls player having gone down, Burnout's under pressure. He's gone down to that dueling AWP, and once again, this A site, bomb site's dropped now, and there's absolutely nothing that Butler have to say about it.
One time that we see Butler put more pressure over towards that B side, it costs him. Abyss playing sandbags, and the patience for St. Clair should pay off here. There's limited utility left over here for Butler. That smoke was being set up, and then Kyan got decapitated by Big Green. A follow-up from Milk, a 3k on the round, and St. Clair dominating on every feasible part of the map. B, mid, A, draw a card, it'll probably cost you your round.
Can we just talk about how Milk is using this AWP? It's being used as like a rifle. Just turn the corner, I'm just gonna fight you. You know, like it's crazy. Like, he's like entering with it. His teammates are behind him, ready to trade. It's like the weird, like it's the movement behind it that's like throwing me off slightly. It's not like the traditional role, but sound cues here for sure. Vikings got this first kill, but unfortunately 3 other players will find him on the trade, but plenty of information for Butler to work with. They've got the rotation to come in. I'm not sure if they'll expect the second side halls player, but that's really where the impact should be found for Butler.
Burnout on this flank, though. Worked out a little bit. Does find one with the MP5 SD. The problem is they're being flanked on the flank. Absolutely no idea the Tango was there, but they swing him 1 for 1. And that kill probably cost St. Clair the round. What would have been a 2v2 and an escape route ends up being a 2v1 and no way out. Butler bring a round back with less than ideal weaponry. And it looks clean for him at that.
Not just that too, but what's the weapon to do to an MP5? When was the last time at TTL that you saw an MP5 in I guess a force buy round be the one to save it?
It's probably a calendar year.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been a little while, let's say that.
Yeah, but he doesn't have it anymore. I think he'll be happy to have gotten rid of it. This is an interesting kind of stacked position here over towards middle. Petro, they've been one to walk out towards mid fairly often, and not necessarily with a bunch of utility too. So, yep, straight into that angle, and he's gone. Now, these are one of the situations that you would want Butler to be seeing, and this is St. Clair maybe starting to get a little bit concerned. They've gotten ahead of themselves. They've been more than comfortable taking these aggressive fights, and now, having lost out, it'll be nice to see how they adjust. That's outrageous.
I don't know how in the world this guy keeps doing it.
That's what I'm saying
Was
too.
that 14 kills or something?
Yeah, these fights, why are you like? These are not AWP fights. Why would you take one up there? That's a fight you pop up with an AK. You know what I mean? That Molotov. Tragedy for.
It was a smart retreat though. I like that play. Kyan sees the Molotov, but he sees where it came from, and instead of directly swinging either side to try and get out, he just straight up backs away, not allowing a line of sight and not allowing St. Clair to pick up what could have been a free kill. Bruno could be sent out of position and just disengages. This is a smart setup for Butler. They're going to play full retake, but they still already have this elevator control and a kill to boot.
Not going to be prevented from being planted. Milk's got the side angle where the smoke doesn't cover it. It's 3v2 Butler. This is a retake that they're going to be able to go for. It's one of the first times they've had a man advantage doing so, but they're not going to be able to account for this AWP in the back lines as Kyan finds one. The missed AK spray costs Ryan the first frag, and Kyan will pull through in the 1v2. Butler, I think that's the first retake they've won, no?
Yeah, and it was off the back of Milk having to swing a second direction and not knowing there were two players on the same angle. Butler again catching St. Clair off guard and not allowing them to find comfortable positions in these post plants. That disengage with the op there for Burnout was not to get out and wait forever in a day. It was to wait for a single bit of reinforcement and then help on that engagement. Smart decision making and smart patience from Butler.
Once again, aggressive plays out towards B. All 5 players of the T side. Molotov to land further ahead. That's it. You can't push through behind that. Butler, they're definitely going to win out these first 2 frags, but even for the time being, how do you respond if you're St. Clair? So much damage being done early on.
Ryan's getting aggressive off the back of it. Petro's on 19 health. Abyss, nice amount of health for them as well. I'll let you look at the bottom right of your screen of your own position. Butler is in a pretty good spot, all things considered. And St. Clair, if they somehow string together these 3 frags while only losing 1, maybe 2, and make it a negligible round, then you're in a good spot. Petro finds a first. A swing from Tango. There's the kill for Phantom. A double at that. And it's down to Petro, the only player to lose a significant portion of health without dying here for St. Clair. Also needs an ace to pull it out for them to find double digits. They've seen the op. The op has seen them in return. Butler find a 3rd straight round on the CT side.
Okay, I think if this train of events for Butler had started, 4 rounds ago, I guess 4 rounds prior than it did, we would be talking about a lot closer of a game. But this is also looking like a Butler that's a little bit more in control, right? I mean, yes, the round wins, but it seems to be a lot more on their terms. We're seeing the early round frags start to go there, where they're starting to get a read on these early kind of plays coming out from St. Clair, but not only the reads, but they're actually working, well, as they weren't before.
I thought, until I looked at the wire there. Burnout, there's Petro. That's like 9 rounds in the making. I talked about that like round 3 or 4. When the op was brought out there for Butler. I was like, I'm surprised Petro didn't die there, and then they did. Just a little while later.
It's a good player to take out too, but one of the most impactful for the C side. That looked like it was through the smoke to me, but either way, it's going to be a flick around it. Rise gone down. I mean, okay, anti-eco here, so not really getting ahead of ourselves here. This is a round you'd expect Butler to come through on. So, I say that, but...
Milk exists, though.
Yeah. Has he picked up the gun?
Playing their best bet at Keanu Reeves as well. Trying their hand at the Matrix. Nade lands, but runs away. Will not survive, though. And Milk, the kill and the AK,
Wait, look
that
towards
makes
B.
this at least somewhat possible. Oh my gosh. The flank setup from Abyss over towards the B side. Kyan was looking the wrong way, but I don't know if the bomb's over there. It's finally rotating over. This is such a good setup for St. Clair. They have 2 rifles and a 2v2 and 30 seconds left.
Abyss, everything he needs to put a nail into this round. Absolutely messed it up for the side of Butler University. A smoke to cut off this rotation as well for Phantom. How do you come back into this? You're not the man disadvantage. You got a smoke and a flashbang to work with. That's going to do nothing for you. A bomb site that you have to retake on your own. First fight, not even going to go his way. St. Clair, they clawed their way back for a round that was not destined to be theirs. That was an eco round.
It was just a domino effect as well. Milk finding that first kill, really throwing off the rotations for Butler, forcing an extra player over should they have lost the op, which they did, but they forced over the extra player and then left B nearly unguarded. They left mid fully unguarded, which cost them the B site and an extra rifle, and then inevitably the round as Abyss found a 3K.
And it's back towards mid now for Butler to try to find this opening. They've got Viking and Phantom pushed up. If they try to go further, they might find themselves in the crosshairs of Abyss. They do cross successfully. They're going to continue to push. This will be the first casualty of the round, and the MP9 finds it. And aggression towards B as well, doubles up. St. Clair, they've lost out 2 kills within 30 seconds.
Oh, and Ninja perfectly swings Milk. They swing a second later, they lose their life because Milk's aware of the possibility. Looking for a follow-up onto Rye, you should probably not be taking this fight. No need to over-aggress if you're Butler. You cannot afford to give away what can be that man advantage. Burnout very lucky that there's a giant crane there, or their head would no longer be attached to the rest of their body. Molotov being set up. Vikings on this close crane, but they're dropped. Back to another 2v3. We've seen these rounds picked up before. The op has been seen over top, but Rye does not react in time. They get a bomb plant possibility with a smoke going down before they die, but it's still a 1v3 required of Petro.
15-9. Definitely not impossible. He does have the bomb in his back pocket, and these are 1v1 angles he'd be able to take. He takes out the player in the back line, too. A quick one-tap to put him in this situation with 30 seconds to make the decision. Does he want to commit to this? Burnout misses what could be a crucial shot. Following up, he gets the other one-tap, but does he have the information on Phantom? If you're Petro, you'd be expecting a swing.
Phantom's patience may very well work out for him. Petra still clears it, but Phantom straight up wins the fight, and something goes the way, at least in the later stages there for Butler. 4 of 5 rounds, and that may very well help them out not only in the game, but mentally as well. When you're bringing up not only momentum, you also have to bring up your mental health, and that matters. So, the NACE Star League has partnered with BetterHelp to make it easy to start your therapy journey through live sessions via phone, video, or live chat as your convenience. Click on the Twitch panel below, and you can get 1 month for free. It's the bottom left one if you can't really discern which Twitch panel is which. That's at the bottom, just below the stream itself.
Straight into this too. Butler not really wasting any time heading in towards the Saints side, and that's sure to find that first frag for the USP. The smoke actually causing issues for them around it because they can't quite get in. The bomb stuck towards the crane as Kyan tries to find frags. Ninja now all alone. Not really one of the highest performers tonight as he finds 1 frag, but he needs to deliver for more. 3 to find to bring Butler their first round of the second half, and it's not meant to be. St. Clair, they win out both pistols, so they put themselves back 6 rounds in the lead.
Another round good setup for St. Clair, and Milk, again the hero. Just casually 20-7, by the way, because no big deal. It's like a 2.86 KD, if I've done my math correctly. It's like 0.14 for every 7. Anyway, Butler need to be able to shut Milk down on a consistent basis. And if you are finding 2 or 3 Ks in pistol rounds, that is not going to be the easiest of possibilities, nor is it going to be if Butler's wielding just sidearms, and St. Clair has 2 rifles, well, 1 rifle and a P90, alongside 3 MP9s trying to shut you out.
We've seen a Nico round win this game. This is not impossible. Also, the second time we've seen. Did Tango have the P250 or not the P250, the P90 last time too? Was that him?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, very popular tonight. It seems to be. Early aggression towards A. We'll find information for the St. Clair side, but not really wanting to get too much action on the other side of these pistols. For sure, he'll fall back. As the time continues to dwindle, Butler University have a decision to make. Where do they really want to go for kills, try to probe into a bomb site? It looked to be towards A. It might actually be the right decision. There's only 1 player here standing guard, but he's got all the information.
Really the matter of whether that real primary weapon can tear out unarmored opponents. There's not a single piece of armor on anybody at Butler, And you can see as Ninja is absolutely torn limb from limb. The MP9 from Abyss, though, misses. And Petro is forced on this flank, finds a follow-up onto Burnut. They're being flanked on the flank itself, but they find another onto Phantom. And that plant spot no longer safe. Petro finds another. A 4K on the round. Second time this map that an ace has been robbed. Once via a death, the other via a steal of a final kill. And St. Clair win the conversion fairly cleanly at that.
Okay. 12-5. I think if you're Butler University, this is the point where, I mean, listen, you've been feeling the pressure this entire game. But this is the point where if you're going to have to start being required to win rounds, this is really one of those first starting points, you know? You don't really have too many opportunities to make mistakes. You might start seeing forced buys because they're mandatory, rather than because they're the right decision to make. And so we'll see the Galils, the AKs coming into fruition this round. Not really much utility to back up for a few of these players, flanking and Burnut specifically. They're spread out. They're looking for frags. Kyan hanging out towards B site. I'm not sure if he spotted that frag, but Vikings found a wallbang over towards the A site.
One opening, at least, goes Butler's way, and only 2 rifles available for St. Clair. So that grill 4v4 is really a 3.5 or 3v4, depending on how you count SMGs and full gun rounds. Shots from Ninja, but he's cut away long range. Milk wins the fight. The Galil gotten better of, and problems for Butler are mounting. Doubled up rifle losses. Kyan, I'm not sure if they're aware Petro's sitting in ladder. They weren't. They were aware of the possibility he could be there later, but we're watching the wrong side of the room. And another lost fight there for Butler, but they have gained site control, so there will be a post-plant scenario here on the A side.
They should go for the... No reason they shouldn't. Seen the T side come out on top in these situations before. Viking in a good position to find a multi-frag. He does. We've seen him get doubles early on with Hamas, but third kill coming back through Burnut. A second double kill in the retake. And the T side, they pull it through. Butler with that 6th round. Something about 2v4 retakes tonight, man.
They're impossible. Don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
2v4s are the worst possible, somewhat-ish clutch situations to be in. That 2-man deficit always.
How much
seem
did St. Clair have coming into that?
A lot. They threw a lot of flashes through. I don't think they just used any of their smokes. They waited a little bit too long. Milk did not wait any time, though. Nice flash from Petro in through the elevator side and clean opening kill. St. Clair have made up for their losses, at least somewhat. Maybe not a lost round.
Ooh. Rifle, good for the trade. Milk on the double.
Milk.
He can't keep getting away with it, right? Surely.
He can't keep getting away with it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Bomb to be planted, but as the smoke fades... Oh, okay. Not really quite sure what happened there, but Petro definitely not going to ignore the opportunity that's been given to him as Burnut snatches one away through the edge of the smoke, but 3 more left to find. Listen, the 4v3 retake is one thing. Killing 3... The bomb hasn't even been planted yet. That's another task entirely as he swings back through. 2 players to fight simultaneously. St. Clair up to 13. Oh no. Look at the money for Butler. That was really a round that they need to solidify. If we're talking comeback scenarios here, being able to win consecutive rounds to break St. Clair's economy and get them back on track would have been something you're looking for. But now look, you've got the up and play for Burnut. Everyone else on Mac 10s or Tech 9s.
The hero up, at least nearly if you count Mac 10s against the hero. And Butler need an opening kill and real estate. That is their win condition to this round. They also cannot give away that up early on. The Mac 10 does a decent bit of damage on the Milk, who only does about 70 in return, which is a little surprising all things considered. But Butler at least has some information to work off of, and some damage to do so as well. Tech 9s and Mac 10s now significantly more lethal against the overwhelming top fragger of the Saints Academy squad.
Okay. Look at the utility of St. Clair. They haven't used any of it. Oh no. Oh man. I mean, it deserves? I don't know. I won't be the one to determine that. The trade will come through on a different player. Tech 9 will also find a frag, though Petro swings back through for 2 kills of his own. But it's really this mid-lurk that you're looking towards right now to find a kill. The bomb will be recovered towards B. It might just make it so that Butler leans towards this position. You do have Milk hiding alone on the bomb site.
Oh, what a nade!
Oh, no. Oh!
But he missed!
Even better frag for the Mac 10.
I'm sorry about that low HP possibly costing you. Now an M4A1S has been retrieved, but with 30 seconds left, you still have to grab the bomb. I don't think they know the bomb's on this side because that nade kill was not on a player that was
Right.
seen. So the bomb wasn't seen either. So this will be a bomb plant for Ninja. It's just a matter of how long it takes them to get it down. They do waste a smoke in the process of doing so, which with 2 Molotovs available here for St. Clair on the retake could be problematic later. But at a bare minimum, the bomb's been planted, and they have armor in this 1v2 alongside that A1S.
Yeah, this should be clinical. Getting the trade would be important. Molotov, I was going to say, that could have been extinguished by the smoke if it was still down, but I didn't quite remember what it was. So, bomb site covered, okay. Angle started to be clear, but a 1v1 to go the favor of Ninja. Just needs to play this right. Petro's working his way in the back lines, and he's got it. Oh, man, Petro, 28 kills now. As he puts St. Clair up to 14. This is getting into dangerous waters. I mean, Butler, we're looking for heroics here. This was a desperate round, which called for a desperate buy, but with the bomb plant now, does it justify the reinvestment? It looks like it does.
Okay, St. Clair has 2 players that, as of right now, combined, have 55 kills and 22 deaths.
That's perfectly
That is
normal.
like-
What do you mean?
Oh, yeah, my bad. I forgot. Yeah, just casually have 2 players that
I mean,
combined
okay, in all
seriousnly,
seriously, when it comes to collegiate Counter-Strike, that's not completely abnormal. Well, there are so many teams in playoffs where whenever we see them on the broadcast, it's like, the first player that comes to mind, Retina. Whenever you see Retina, it's like, oh, he's got 40 kills, you know, just whatever. Standard performance from him. Special. That's now with the 30 bomb for him. And not, I mean, after that first kill going the way of Butler, this isn't really the response you were looking for. But the B bomb side opened up as well. Oh, okay. So a way to shake up the round, let's say.
Round flipped on its head, but Abyss is going to get aggressive. They've been hit by the Molotov, but I think the Molotov landing masked their drop, and no sound cue's been given over. Ninja caught off guard because of it, not hearing a dang thing on the site, now Kyan in a 1 versus 3, worried about their flank, and correctly so as it's being set up. The walk-up from Petro is caught out, but the information is a guarantee.
Oh, no!
A smoke diffuse is unsuccessful, Tangoat swings, but they do indeed find the kill. What very well could have been a problematic solution there for St. Clair does indeed turn into a round victory for them. No kit available here for Tango, except for the one, sitting at his feet. He'll look at that and ponder life decisions. But they'll be on map point.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest though. With the way this map has been going, I'll be surprised to say the least if this isn't a point where St. Clair can close it out. The fact that you've got Tango on 8 kills so far and they're leading by 9 rounds. It just goes to show you how much the rest of the firepower in St. Clair is delivering, right? And they won't be able to do it this time around. Milk has been caught off alone towards middle by 3 of these players, and they're not really slowing down the pace. They're going to continue barreling, and utility flying towards this B site. As rotations start to be made, this could go either way.
The problem is they're trying to cut off the rotation from through mid. Petra's aware of it, so they're trying to get aggressive and cut off at least the bomb plant or the coverage. They almost do both, but they're cut off in the process. Burnout and Viking finding those flank kills that are all important to the round outcome. And about 10 HP separates Butler from a very problematic round they had to contend.
A good 7th. Gotta go for 8 more, though, just to find us into overtime. St. Clair, I mean, to the benefit of Butler, will be for economy and M4 for Tango. The Eagles for the rest. They'll group up towards the middle to try to steal some rifles away. This could be huge. We see. Oh no!
Saints are looking good on this attack as they try to get proactive. This 4v3 could be an issue later on for Butler. But the AKs across the board at least making it a possibility. I think Ninja saw somebody up towards scaffolding, or at least towards that construction side. But gets the kill to Petro, has the smoke out, drops it, Tango aware of it, but now trying to go towards CT and doesn't know Burnout's there. 91 health of damage done with the headshot, but the kill not so much, and a 2v3 retake now required. Nade over the top doesn't do as much as they wanted, but it's still the kill from Ninja, as it's a 1v3 for Milk. If anybody's going to be left in the clutch, you want Milk to be in that situation.
Has he found the right angle, though? He's definitely missed his timing. He's getting a shot in the back. Surely Ninja. There it is.
Yep.
Okay. Deagle's not going to quite find as many kills as they were looking for, but listen, if you're St. Clair, right, you got to remember, round by round, how did we get here? We got here by taking gunfights and winning them, damn it. And so that's going to be the mentality that they need to have to continue to push back into this, right? Come into the round with proper guns, get the man advantage early on, and then push into the retake if needed, because they've been very successful in fighting out these late rounds.
Shots from Phantom, just trying to limit damage done to themselves. Somehow finds 3 kills, almost finds a 4th. If another second transpired, they would have had the shot off, but this round basically already a foregone conclusion. A 4v2 with the USP available only for Tango. Granted, Petro is alive and is above a 30 bomb, but they still need to be able to find a kill with the bomb plant on the other site. They've guessed incorrectly. Burnout shooting at their ghosts, and then finally trying to shoot Tango down, but a 1v4 for Petro should just be a save.
Should be. This is good. This is good response for Butler. Starting to make the case for this comeback, and keeping 4 players alive here is a statement. Being able to hunt for this frag, it means that much more. You know, you're starting to even mentally put the pressure back. You know, saying that not only going to win this round, we're going to make sure that you carry nothing over into the next. Look at the economy, what that does to St. Clair off the back of it too. You've got less than op amounts of money in the back pocket of each of these players. Okay, you've got M4s coming into this, but look, what's to support it? 4 smokes on the board, no Molotovs, no grenades, 3 flashbangs. It's so difficult to win rounds like this.
St. Clair have a problem, and that problem is not having the comfortability I think they were really expecting. Should they lose this round, they'll get just shy of $3,400, and then should they lose the following, they're in the same boat. They'll have a full buy against 15-11 or so, but once you hit 15-10, that's when you start to worry. You're like, can this comeback actually come all the way to fruition? Is it a possibility? That's when your mind starts to wander just a little bit. Granted, Butler also wondering about the same thing. Is this actually possible? Hopefully for them. They're thinking yes the entire way through, but obviously never.
So even talking about mentality in situations like this, if you're one of the higher fraggers on St. Clair and you start losing out of rounds, you might start thinking to yourself, you know, I need to be the one to pull this back. You might start making aggressive plays, and you might start losing out. Burnout finding a double with the AWP might just be a sign of the times. A sign of things getting switched up. The M4s dropping across the board as Milk and Vride do find themselves back into the 2v2. How was that kill found?
I just found it straight through the smoke. Gamble shot, maybe seeing feet. The problem is there is a flank setup. Kyan, I don't think, has made enough noise to be heard, so St. Clair is none the wiser to this possibility. And Kyan could be the X factor. Double smokes dropped on top of the bomb. Viking needs to get the spray through, but is guessing incorrectly, sitting straight inside of it. That could be the map. It is indeed. It's the Ninja Defuse from Rai inside of a combo of Venn diagram smokes and St. Clair to win Vertigo off the back of it. What a finish, and what a wild way to finish as well, because you thought Kyan would activate, they got there too little, too late.
Yeah, exactly. We could talk about it too. In the grand scheme of things, I would think in the rounds where both teams were playing at the top of their game, that seems like a relatively close score. Both teams were able to pull rounds together where they found all the right kills, they found the right timings, all their players showed up. Unfortunately, the start was just way too strong for St. Clair. Coming into the map pick, what was the lead at one point? It was something outrageous.
7-1.
Yeah, it's so difficult to come back from that. We're talking comebacks.
9-1.
We're talking about complete collapse of mentality on the kind of the advantageous side there when we talk about comebacks like that, and they happen so rarely that I don't know. Really, the collegiate space is really where you're going to find that happen in the first place. But regardless, it's going to be St. Clair to win out that first map, and that takes us into Nuke. And considering what we just saw from St. Clair, I have no idea how that's going to go.
On the CT side as well of Nuke, St. Clair looked fairly clean on their CT side. Granted, there were a few rounds where you look at it and say that could have gone a lot better, but a few rounds change back the other way, and you're probably looking at a near flawless second half of play. A 16-9 victory for St. Clair, and a curious way to do so as they close out Vertigo. They start on the CT side of Butler's map selection as we move to Nuke for our second map. St. Clair take their own map selection of Vertigo, 16-9, and as we move into Nuke, Butler need to come out of the gate swinging. They start on the T side, so they will set the pace they need to start off well. I'm Tom Delight, still joining alongside me is Birdie for our round of 12 matchup between the 8 and 9 seed, and St. Clair is looking far in front through one map.
Yeah, absolutely. Vertigo looked Great. The whole way through, there were a couple of moments where it seemed to collapse. Butler had some really good rounds they found, in succession towards the end especially, but from St. Clair couldn't be ignored, and it definitely delivered them the scoreline you see right there, 16-9. But heading into the map pick of Butler on Nuke, an opportunity for them to redeem themselves in a situation they can probably control more. But the real caveat to that is, as you kind of mentioned before we ended out into our break, was St. Clair will be given the opportunity to start on that CT side, and knowing kind of how well they were playing on Vertigo, especially on their own. I would say CT side wasn't as great, but knowing their T side, if you're good on your new T sides and the CT side just kind of like take you the rest of the way, it's so easy. It can be so great. And it seemed like St. Clair, from what I saw on Vertigo, they seemed comfortable just going for frags. They seemed comfortable going for the picks as a team together, setting each other up. And that works perfectly for a map like Nuke. You know what I mean? Send a couple of nades through into the the skylights through A, and then just work the rest of your way in. A couple smokes outside, flashbang yourself into big garage, try to find some kills, work your way around. Yeah, there's so many angles you could go with. And I'll be frank, the coordination for the Butler side didn't seem to be at 100%, and that worries me for a map like Nuke, which is so dependent on being aware as a unit, knowing where the rest of your teammates are, knowing what map control you've lost, and knowing as a whole team where to expect the T side to go.
Especially as the T side, if you start things off and you've lost that coordination, then you're going to run into significantly more problems than you may very well be solving on that side. They have to come out of the gates swinging. I said it on my intro to this, and I will say it probably a few more times before we move into our first few rounds, because if Butler lose pistol, conversion, and bonus, and just allow St. Clair on that same tangent that they brought out of the gates back on Vertigo on the CT side this time, St. Clair's not going to slow down. They're not going to get to 9-1 and then just casually give up 4 straight rounds. It's not going to happen. It will not happen. Butler needs to do well off rip. If they don't, I think the series is done, and we're seeing a St. Clair Drexel rematch just in another first person.
And let's talk about it too. There's actually a player that comes to mind that I think heading into a CT side of Nuke is going to be incredibly dangerous. Who did we see on the T side of Vertigo just going hang with AWP? It was Milk, right? Going for opening kills absolutely everywhere. Nuke is perfect for that. Take the op over towards ramp, push aggressively towards trophy, get that kill, disappear. Go outside, find an aggressive angle, get that kill towards Marshmallow, towards the red box, disappear. When the door's usually naded open towards Mini, go for the peek, get the kill, disappear. It's such a good map for being able to get your kill, move to a different angle, and continue whittling down that T side.
And the weird part for Milk is if you can play that op to near perfection, it turns from playing a first-person shooter to playing complex terrorist whack-a-mole. Because there's nothing that Butler can do about it. You find a kill, you run away, you find another kill elsewhere, and you have a get-out-of-jail-free card in environmental safety at seemingly every feasible spot that an op would play. Ramp, you have the exit to ramp towards hell. If you play on the ramp itself, you can fall back to the bottom floor. Outside, you're hiding in garage. Who's gonna kill you? Maybe a lucky shot over Marshmallow, but that's not a guarantee. Butler need to play concise, and most importantly, their utility usage on the T side needs to be better. If it's not, St. Clair is going to walk all over them, and most importantly, Milk is going to do just that.
Yeah, that's definitely the biggest question mark for me coming into this. If Milk does end up performing, I think we're going to see the St. Clair side going to take on Drexel, very soon. I don't think there's going to be much of an issue for them, but I'm trying to think what conditions for Butler here. You know what I mean? We saw Viking playing a pretty good game last time around. I was wrong. I was under the assumption that if Viking was going to show up, he was going to lead by example, and the rest would follow. That wasn't necessarily the case. We saw some players struggling on the Butler side, especially over towards that B bomb site. That hole, it wasn't strong enough, and Nuke is very much a map where that can follow too as well. If any side, if your A side is weak, you could expect the T side to just get hit every single round. If your ramp is weak, expect them to hit it every single round. If you're struggling to find kills outside, guess what? T side is going to hit it every single round. And so that's really my worry comes from. I need to see strong pace across the board for Butler to make a case on their own CT side. But we're gonna have to start off first with their T side.
Butler starting off on that T side. I'm curious to see how this goes for them. Pistol round especially, I want to see how their coordination stacks up. Looking at the buy for St. Clair, since we have just a few seconds to work with, everybody has bought up a set of armor. Hold up, I think sides are wrong. Yes, sides are wrong. St. Clair, I believe, is starting on T side for some reason. I'm pretty sure nobody's actually... I'm not sure if this is live. Sides are switched. Sides are now correct. No, this is not live. Damn. Okay, well, while we get that tech issue sorted, a problem for St. Clair, maybe you've lost some momentum, especially on the CT side. If you can't build what you've got, especially on Vertigo, as we saw, and say, hey, we're confident in that, especially with some tech issues that sometimes are unavoidable, sometimes just happen. Welcome to Esports.
Counter-Strike 2, yeah.
Welcome to... It's a Counter-Strike issue. That's what it is. There's no way it's any other issue.
It's a skill issue,
CSGO.exe has stopped working.
Yeah, but yeah, so the problem there wasn't the sides were right, the players were wrong. So had to get that switch, but not sure that was necessarily the technical issue. But yeah, speaking of that though, I mean, listen, Butler going to be starting off this first half on a strong note is definitely going to be important. I think going into this, that's really my overall. That's what I need to see.
Well, we'll see it in just a little bit. Our tech issue is going to take a little bit longer than originally expected. So instead of talking your ears off and saying Butler's going to have to start off well 45 different times, we're going to send it to a break. And when we return, Nuke as our second map of play. Butler on this T side need a pistol round victory, and they're looking to grab it on this A side as they are just breaking out with no patience whatsoever. Abyss misses a few key shots, but still at least finds one kill before being taken care of. But already, it's a 2-for-1 trade, bomb planted, and a 4v2 post plant here for Butler.
Ends up putting duels incredibly important. This rotation up through Vet as well, immediately eliminated by Viking. 4 players to find. Ree has also been spotted as well. Oh, come on. One shot needed for Viking. There you go. What do you follow it up with? No kit in hand as well as Kyan swings back through. Butler find themselves their first pistol round tonight. On what is their map pick? Maybe potential signs for the future. We hope so.
You know, they heard us. After saying they need to start off well, they've done just that.
We should have told them to do that first, Butler. You know?
Honestly, I didn't think of it. I said they were the under... and played the underdog story. Losing map 1, bringing maps 2 and 3 back, that would be a way to bring things back, especially with map 3 being Inferno, but that's neither here nor there. St. Clair's playing aggressive, and with 5 USPs, it looks like either a ramp push or a ramp stack, and that could be the correct decision as of right now, but I'm not sure if they've been heard. At least Butler's watching it for the time being. Oh, and Burnett finds the opening kill into Abyss. That's a problem.
Whether or not they find these follow-up players, though, is going to be important because they've turned their backs. Oh. Wait, no head armor for Burnett. Oh, no, bomb down. Rifles recovered as well. Oh, come on. Petro's recovered an 8K, and he's managed to drop that player trying to recover the bomb. 2 Kyans left in this 1v1, and positions lost. It's got to be the headshot. It's got to be the frag. The spray not connecting. What? He's got it. Petro's won the round. The USPs for St. Clair, they come through.
They only bought nothing. I don't think a single dime. They didn't spend a dime. What the heck was that from St. Clair? Just a 5-stack sprint. They even lost the first pick and didn't care. Butler also didn't buy head armor. At that point, Galils or SMGs with head armor, please and thank you. That limits your risks. That's a problem now for Butler. They're trying to go on to A again. The problem is it's more rifles available here for St. Clair, and your safety net has fallen, as has your opening, but a 1-for-1 trade is something you can still work with here on this T side.
I'm still trying to recover from this last round. St. Clair on this retake, they're going to try to keep this going, but the Viking with the tech, that's what you call a drive-by these days, but somehow the trades continue to go back and forth. Second off shot will find the kill. This Milk continues to connect for shots. But here's Viking. This is exactly the player we've been waiting for. He's recovered that M4 now as the defuse come through. That kill, gone, disappear. This 1v1 just got a lot more difficult.
He's got a... Oh, he had a kit too. But Viking's able to find the kill anyway. Valiant effort there from Petro, but Butler bring a round back that was... in a similar situation, not as likely, but still a victory for them. And they've recovered an op. So pretty good start, all things considered. But Petro has now bought up an op, and that's dropped over to Milk. Are we going to see another hero op situation? We are. It's Deagles and an op.
This
What
isn't the
in the
standard
world is
start to
going on,
nuke, that's for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
This is a little bit confusing across the board. But the op's going to be sent outside. Milk will not be ready to fight it there. He'll be hanging around towards the B side. Rotating back up through Secret, it seems like maybe. That could be useful. Because Butler definitely seemed to be heading that direction.
Milk needs to have a way out. That's their problem. If they can find a kill and then escape, they're in a good spot. And they're playing on the stairs. This is smart from Milk. The patience may very well play out as they just wait on the other side. There's a swing. Viking dead. A second is a possibility. Milk switches to the smoke. Now looks to take a second fight, but has dropped a smoke of which goes down the stairs and possibly costs him that real estate. Now he has to get out. Luckily, has done so quickly enough to where Saints have picked up 2 opening duels, retrieved one of those 2 rifles, and have a 5v3.
They force this fight back up towards A. The Eagle's not going to be in position to fight it. Abiff's missing those first 2 shots. Burnout with the follow-up of the AWP. Oh no! Phantom, though, will pull back with the Galil, but this damage to goods here on the T side as the bomb looks to go down. This retake, you can bet St. Clair are going to go for this, and they've got a good shot at winning it.
Burnout. That up. Holding down Milk, but he misses! Milk now has an opportunity, but he misses just the same. A 3v2, only 1 extra rifle, but the Galil from behind, the backstab to Burnout, and it's down to Phantom alone in this 1 versus 3. They've been seen, a Molotov put on top of them, no easy way to swing, but the up shot misses again. Milk with 2 uncharacteristic misses at that, but inconsequential to the round outcome nonetheless. Saints will still pick it up a little bit more chaotically than I think they would have liked, but a round victory, and the up saved over nonetheless.
I don't think I've ever seen Nuke in the first 4 rounds be a back and forth affair. That's a confusing prospect to me. But you know, here we are. I guess it was the first time for everything. Butler, they'll invest back into this with 5 of these Mac 10s, and I guess these Mac 10s is what they're going to need to continue this back and forth affair. You would expect them to hit the A bomb site in a situation like this, maybe, but no, they'll settle back out, push over towards right. Phantom's missed a shot to his chest, surprisingly, but there's been 3 players now rotated here to fight with, and the Mac 10s have found frags.
And an op as well. Burnout has retrieved it, and the opper has an op and limited HP, no armor, so it's probably a good thing they were able to retrieve Big Green. Saints are on the back foot, but Petro has an op of their own. The double up setup, maybe not the most ideal against what could have been SMGs, and what ended up being SMGs, but still a retake on the cards. Man disadvantage, but HP advantages. Tango just walks out a ramp without a care in the world and survives their endeavor. They're walking straight through the doors, but they're not seeing either player, whether it's on the backside of the silo or inside of the double door. Flash over top does land. Kyan's whereabouts are indeed known, but so indeed are Vikings. A flank now being set up from single. A headshot there. Petro finds a follow-up. A double at that. Looking for a third, but he runs out of ammo. Op out. What? This is the follow-up. They're all gonna die. Everybody to the bomb. It's just a matter of whether it's $300 in the favor of Ninja. What? He survives that? What? Wait. No, hold up. No.
There's actually no way.
Wait, hold up.
Wait, was he hurt before that?
Yeah, he was like 60 HP.
So he only took 12 points of damage.
Yeah, I can hear the chat ticks go off because even though it's hidden, you can still hear it. They are losing their mind in chat that he's still alive.
There's no way. Something had to have gone. Wait, I'm actually at a loss. There's no way he lives.
Somebody please clip that and send it to me. I don't care where. I will even put a message in Twitch chat so you can whisper it to me because that. Okay. On today's episode of Things That Shouldn't Happen,
Butler winning a 3rd round, back and forth. What is happening?
Like you said, standard opening to nuke because why not?
You can't say that with a straight face. Don't even try. Don't talk to me. That's outrageous.
I suck at poker, so yeah, you got.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I follow. Oh,
and then Petra. Okay, this is a 4v4 with Deagles only. Okay, Milk's dead. They may go into A, and finally a round ends in the way it should. I can't believe it. I think hell is frozen over.
Return to normalcy, as we'd like to have it at least. This is. I was gonna say, oh, this is more of what we expect from Nuke, but no, the T side is winning by 2 rounds. Maybe not. This entire map so far has just been exceptions. What's going on?
Our delay is catching up So I'm trying to watch how low Ninja was when they survived. It looks like they were on full HP as they walked around towards the decon door, but I'm like 80% sure Abyss did some semblance of damage to them after being flanked. No, they didn't. Ninja was on 100 points of health when the bomb exploded, but still, you shouldn't survive on a bomb site if the bomb's planted there, right?
To be fair, it was planted for... It was planted for... I forgot what that place used to be called, but it was planted for double, so...
It's still 53 points of damage from 15 meters.
It got lowered on Nuke a long time ago, because remember, you want to be able to save on the bomb site above, but regardless, Burnet's found this first frag, don't want to fight the top of the bomb site though, and Milk and Tango in tandem have found the double frags outside, and in the meantime, he's looped his way through, got another frag as a reward, and with RAM control as well, they've split this defense entirely.
All the shots missed, Vikings taken care of. Nice shots from Abyss, cleaning up the kill required. Bomb looks like it's top Marshmallow, maybe? No,
no, it's in lobby.
It's lobby, yeah. Rye's just watching it. I think they have help from the decon door. Or, sorry, from the squeaky door. Ninja now looking to aggress, but Milk is just playing proactive. The gun barrel's seen, the longest one in the game, and now they want to try and swing Ninja out of position. A Molotov to force him away, and Milk just is like, I'll swing it. He's into it, and wins it.
Okay. Third round for St. Clair. Butler, money it's still not broke, we'll put it that way. Even though we got a couple players, the Galils, no AWP that you might see some of these players preferring. Viking with the Tech 9 as well, but utility in the back pocket for sure. Milk outside with AWP. Now this is really what we were looking towards earlier. Not that he's going to find much action because Butler have all grouped in towards the inside of the map. And seems to be another A hit on the cards. How can they contest this time around? Abyss with this opening duel, though traded, it might just be the bomb plant towards A.
Still a retake required to St. Clair here, and they've had less than ideal retakes, but they are coming in from two separate angles. One set up through Mini, that's Milk with the op in hand. The rest of the team really looking to set up around through Heaven, and it's working fairly well. 1-for-1 trade to start things off, and now two players stacking up in through this Mini side. Rye needing to find something, but Phantom kills Milk, and the op has been dropped. A follow-up is there from Rye, but another flank setup as Viking is walking up the ladder, does not get the kill, at least not off the bat. Cayenne worried about the smoke. As it falls, they will find the kill onto Petro, and another hell flank into Heaven works out for Butler as they hold the A site once more.
I don't understand. Oh man. I've never seen Duke be like this. Ever. I feel like I've said that a million times now, but this is just so outrageous. I mean, okay, yeah, this map pick of Butler, seeing them in the lead isn't necessarily the most outrageous thing. I feel like given the context of how the last map went, I was expecting something a little bit different, and St. Clair, I think, showing a lack of pace. They don't seem to be as, I'll say, reliable in these opening round duels to be able to find kills.
Well, that's an opening kill, and maybe a problem. Oh, Milk catches out Ninja, but still loses the fight, and 2-for-0 with guns off the board. Oh, this is an issue. St. Clair on the back foot, but they have rifles. Well, rifle singular. Oh, and yep, okay. Yeah, they only have rifle singular with Petro's Eagle. On the right side, they've done damage, but maybe not enough.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at how Ryan could find his way back in this round as the bomb shifts its way towards A, but it's going to have to be through lobby. All of their map control has been lost. And realistically, with the money in hand, you're looking at a save. You know, why send the M4 back into a retake like this? There's really no way to come out on top.
They're looking to aggress. They do still have the rifle of Rye out. Does find one on a Ninja, who granted was on about 9 points of HP. A strong breeze would have blown them over on the A site, but Rye finds a follow-up. Bomb plant right in front. They have some support from Mini, and Rye's done more damage. They need to swing. What is Petro doing? Waiting for a written invitation?
Chaos. Is there any other word you would use to describe what's going on here, Timeline?
Disappointment?
You know, I guess that's fair. Tell me, why are you disappointed? What would you like to see?
I'd like to see Petro swing off the back of that. I think there's been a little bit of a lack of team play on the St. Clair side compared to Vertigo.
Yes.
And I've missed that on the CT side, especially because the trades, sure, have been there every so often, but cohesive swings where you go, hey, 1, 2, 3, swing. I do that in matchmaking sometimes. That has to happen when you have 2 low HP players sitting in front of you on the squeaky door.
Exactly, and I think in the meantime we've missed another round. Butler University, they've pulled out a quick one. I didn't quite catch how many players stayed alive. It seems to have been enough to keep some money going into this. Look how rich Cayenne is. Only died five times so far this game. Impressive, for sure.
Butler's had something held a little bit more for them.
Whoa.
Nade misses onto the squeaky door. They wanted a rush there, but they have allowed Pitcher to get in this close corner. What are they going to do here? Try the flank, and it's going to work, but no, Kayan's aware. Omniscience there for the entry fragger, and the opening kill goes the way of Butler. There is a trade. A caveat is there. Milk was already in secret and has removed the bottom floor possibility. But at least finding an opening kill into Petro is all important, because Petro's 12-2 right now.
He is indeed. Started off Vertigo in a very similar fashion. So towards A. Butler will look hunting for frags. They're not quite sure what the top player is, though, and Abyss will find the trade on him regardless. 2 players here to swing through as the bomb goes down. Oh no, worst case scenario for Butler here.
Phantom would only find one.
Tragic across the board, but lots of damage done to the side of St. Clair. This isn't safe for them in the next round either.
No, and you were talking about money situations with Butler staying alive. In this round, they're still able to healthily purchase. The only player not really able to do so is Ninja, and they still have a Galil, armor, and a couple bits of utility. St. Clair has 2 AKs, both of those saved over. The FAMAS being tossed over, actually an M4 to follow because Tango's feeling or a little helpful to the rest of the team. But Rai is on an MP9, and Tango doesn't have armor at all.
Okay. There's a lot of utility outside right now that's not really being abused. These smokes could fade before anything comes off the back of it. You've got the player under the map, the form of Milk, is also being a nuisance. Oh, how is he alive? There it is. Not sure to find the frag. I'm not sure where that double came from, too. There it is, a third as well. Pulling kills out of thin air, it seems like.
Kill there for Cayenne. Petro dropped, and a 1v4 now for Cayenne. Caught out, Milk finds a kill, and Saints with back-to-back rounds looking significantly cleaner in the later stage of this first half.
If St. Clair could pull up the rest of these rounds, I think we should be okay. I think St. Clair will be looking at a decent next half if they can get to 8, but I think it's going to rely on them actually getting there. This is a good round for them to just kind of bring it a little bit closer. Butler's on eco territory, we'll say. Though these have been dangerous so far this series as well. I don't know. Getting to 8, I feel like would be a requirement, though. Butler's looking incredibly strong. If this carries over to their CT side as well, it could be bad. But it's out towards A. Tango's ready to fight this, AK in hand. 30 bullets to spray down range, and well, his teammates in the back lines as well. It's going to be all the terrorists, sorry, to drop, with the exception of Viking, who will follow shortly to the MP9 of Rai. It is that 6th. It is that 6th for sure. And Butler, though, it is an eco. They do some damage. No bomb plant to say anything for, though. And
you said
now the gun rounds.
Everybody laugh at him. He said doo-doo.
Thank you, TCL.
St. Clair's defensive side looking a little healthier. I was talking about when we went back to our cameras, we needed to see more team play from them. And in the last few rounds, I think that has actually been the case. Healthy adjustments from them, and also aggression. Petro catching Cayenne off guard. That's an opening kill, and then they just fall away. None the wiser is Cayenne. And Petro with the reposition. Phantom gets dropped as well. 2 for 1 on the opening. Yeah, you'll lose Abyss, but you're still happy with that, especially with Cayenne, who's been an all-important factor in this Butler attack, gone early.
There's no way Milk gets cleared here. Like, 0 chance. If you're fighting Petro outside, there's no way you clear this angle and go, okay, I'm looking for Milk. It's just not happening. Honestly, I doubt Viking alone in the situation is going to want to go for that fight anyway. It looks like he will fall back. At least consider it. The bomb still needs to be recovered, and they still need to decide where they want to go with that minute left on the clock. The counter-terrorists are split. They've got Petro down towards the B site right now. 1 player towards ramp and kind of 2 hovering towards... actually, no, there's only 1 player towards A.
I like the split for St. Clair, though. They're healthily sending themselves in different directions, at least allowing for one-for-one trades in awkward positions. That flash should miss, so healthy hold, but Rye is still caught out. They have not cleared the bottom of ramp, though. Watch for this hold sitting inside of control. Do they clear it? That's the real question, and not a chance. Just patience needing to play out here as Petro holds. First kill found. Bomb plant denied. It does go down, but Viking is killed, and it's Burnout in a 1 versus 3. They're for sure aware of where Petro is, but Milk with the proactive swing in through decon, and the patience and trigger discipline pays off as a double from Petro gives St. Clair a tied-up scoreline.
Absolutely classic. Perfect positioning, too. It's strange, too. You saw earlier in the round, I think it was Viking. He was, outside. We were talking about Milk kind of sitting around the corner if he would extend it further, but, you lose track of Petro, and you're like, where could he have been? I think that's an oversight from Butler. If you've lost track of that outside player and he's disappeared after killing your Marshmallow player, I feel like, you might want to expect him on that B site. I think that was a mistake by Butler. He was in a position you would have been able to read him in. And, it might have just cost them the lead heading into this next half, but, that's yet to be decided. We do have this last round of the half to make that decision. And so with early damage onto Tango, to 2 players down towards B, though.
There's a big switch up for St. Clair. They are basically foregoing all outside control and giving up most of the entrance to Secret while still proactively holding that bottom floor. They do not want to allow Butler to gain this control and or find a kill to do so. But now St. Clair trying to play aggressive with it. Tango gets that kill into Viking, though, from the entrance to Mini, and now Butler's going to have to turn their attention. You could see the walk up from Secret and look at the kills off the back of it. 1 for 1 on the outside. The top of Mini pressured as Phantom is no longer safe, but the combined HP is 27 for the 2 players of Butler. There is no safety whatsoever on the map of Nuke, and it seems like the bomb may land here for St. Clair. As Phantom, they'll be lucky if they even drop into the site, much less drop to safety. They will land on their feet, and then be sent 6 feet further under, past where they fell, as St. Clair come back 5 rounds and take the lead.
Okay, a little bit more of the form we were expecting from St. Clair. I mean, I would say analogous to the way Butler ended off the last map. A little bit more confidence in the rounds, switching things up a little bit more. They were succeeding in the reads that they were making. But now heading into that harder half of the T side, how do you actually maintain this? It starts with a pistol, obviously, and it'll be the first chance to do so, but they're going to have a read on Butler's CT side on the map that they're very comfortable playing on.
St. Clair seemingly fairly healthy on any T side, though, and this team play just activates as soon as they turn to the attack. Milk and Abyss both opening for a kill apiece. Abyss adds an assist to their KAD, and a problem for Butler is they've given up the bottom floor, and there's no way Viking clears that corner. Not a chance. As Abyss finds that kill, looking like a possible flawless round, it is indeed. St. Clair 9-7 as they go 3 for 4 in pistols through our first 2 maps of play.
Very successful with them. I think it complements what St. Clair like to play, though. They like to group up. They like to stick together. They're very coordinated with the way they trade, the way they take fights. I would say that would benefit you a lot, the way your pistol rounds tend to turn out. Butler University, I can't say as much, I'll be honest. But this is really a turning point, right? St. Clair taking the lead on their T side. This gives them a good shot at continuing this. If we don't see anything as crazy as the last half, at least the way it started, we should see this extended to 10.
Oh, and Abyss, casual 3k to open the round, because why the heck not? Bruno does find 1 kill into Rye, but I think both players were seen there. Abyss trying for an ace is not even going to get to 4. An AK has been retrieved. Kyan grabs it and then drops it, not of their own volition. 1 rifle lost there for St. Clair, and the only rifle loss is actually a Galil, because Tango switches out the Galil for the AK, and St. Clair will extend the lead to 3 and have rifles available for round 4 of the half. 3 of the half.
The AWP of Burnout's really going to be the pivot point here. St. Clair have been comfortable taking control so far. And though some more utility will expend it outside to grant them fights, it's going to be dependent on how Burnout actually plays around this to actually find kills. Smoke still deny them everything. I don't think a single shot pops off there without them being able to go down, and so nothing to restrict this T-side presence, and rotated down is Viking, but he's out of position. Sprays it, oh no, it's going to connect for 2! Oh no! Collapsing is the St. Clair side as Viking goes untraded. And elsewhere, Kyan finds impact as well. This is a collapse the T-side play.
On Milk, trying for one taps. The change of position from Kine is perfect, and Tango's between a rock, a hard place, and a door, and that's about it. Being held from two angles, they're going to walk in. They are going to open the door, bait out the walk forward, but Phantom's just going to find the easiest headshot of their collegiate career, and Butler is going to look so much cleaner in that round. Decisive, and most importantly, mechanically sound, with a couple kills across the board. Kyan and Viking, the heroes there.
So, have we, and this is an important question, have we seen a single pause tonight so far?
Don't curse it, because everybody's going to call their timeouts now. But no, we've not. The extent of which have been tech pauses, and they were fairly short.
My point being there's been several moments tonight where you think, this would be a good time to talk about how we, either extend our advantage or try to take it back, and we just haven't seen it. I feel like, especially this next round for St. Clair, it would be an important round to actually talk about what's going on, because, actually, hold on, they've got down towards the B bomb site. Kyan's out of position! Come on, that kill needs to come through, and it does! A swing back through towards the squeaky door. All of a sudden, things have stabilized just a little bit, but the punish would need to come through, and surely it does. Phantom will indeed. Okay, I'll get back to my point, though. This is a round where, okay, you're coming into this with guns for St. Clair. You would expect to, but it's not going to be a perfect round. What's going to win this is the way you approach it. And so, talking about that would be something important to do, especially when you're risk giving Butler not only the tied scoreline again, but a perfect economy on their CT side.
And looking at that economy, it's, what, $5,000 a player for at least 3, with 3K available for Burnut? Kyan's the only one that's not as economically inclined as his teammates. That kill, by the way, out of the bomb planter is a $4,300 kill, because Saints were looking so far ahead. If they got a bomb plant there, that was a victory, even in a round loss. But denying that, you deny $300 for the bomb plant and $800 a player. That's $4,300 of economy that St. Clair Academy could have, and they don't. And Butler are punishing him, because Rye would have been able to buy a Galil, at least healthily. They would have been able to have a lot more utility across the board, but that's not the case. And now down to a 2v2, they have a MAC-10 and an AK. But most importantly, they have to grab the bomb and then pick a site, because the weird setup here for Butler is a ramp boost and holds on ramp itself. They don't have any site pressure whatsoever at all.
And the reason being is because Petro just took it. He just dropped down many and found 2 frags. It's put them in this situation. As the remaining players of Butler rotate through, they'll find themselves smoked off. I believe that's the second one too. Oh no. Can you even go for this? They have 1 kid on the board. At this point, no information on where the T side is located too.
Well, the drop comes through. Both players playing a trade with one another. This is a smart play. There's no way you expect a second player in the exact same position, but Petro misses his opportunity and Kyan shuts him down. 25 health the difference. That's a single shot to the body. And St. Clair, I'm not going to say lose it off the back of it, but would have had a significantly better shot at winning it should that fight have gone their way. That's a fight you need to pick up.
You know what I would have liked to see there in that 2v2? They smoke off Heaven, you bring the bomb in, you plant it. I would have actually liked to see a boost up towards Heaven there. Get in the faces of the CT side, because you've worked your way through lobby. They're probably not rotating back through in that exact moment. Mini's something you can hold as you're kind of boosting up. You know what I mean? It would have been a relatively safe play. Obviously, we're talking about hindsight here, but the positioning there in that post play definitely wasn't doing them any favors. As St. Clair barrel their way down towards this east site. I mean, Kyan's gonna be waiting, but not until they actually get in.
They're going to wait towards the silos, and they have some help. There's an opening kill from Kyan. They're worried about that ramp position, though. An AK available for Tango. This is the only rifle brought into the round. Milk finds an opening kill. Tango finds a follow-up. This is a 3v3. They don't have the rifles, though, and that flank from Ninja works nearly perfectly. Double kill, no damage done, and now Abyss left alone. No bomb plant. No, not even a chance at one. As Butler will retake their lead for the first time since the switch at half.
And that's a good round to use as kind of a case study of how to rotate on nuke. You know what I mean? You've heard that contact outside. You get into position to not only just retake the bomb site, but to stop the bomb from ever getting in. The positioning was good. You had, I believe it was Kyan on the bomb site, right? The rotations from door to make sure that, towards ramp, sorry. To probably catch up the players trying to plant the bomb, and then you had that flank coming through towards the door, which I was talking about, misspoke about. To close out the round. It's solid from Butler, and carrying that forward is going to be great. But their money's still incredibly healthy. Saints, they're not just looking for a round win here. They need rounds consecutive that look strong. which are incredibly hard to do on Nuke.
What does St. Clair do here? Because that cohesion we thought was going to look a lot better on the T side. Had for the first few rounds, and then since then really has been a little sporadic, to understate the obvious. Butler on their defensive side has at least gone 1-for-1 in a lot of those gunfights, giving them later opportunities to pick up kills. Kyan playing vertical again, but a missed opportunity goes 1-for-1. That's the kill I was looking for. Kyan dies, but they still pick up a kill before going down. Petro, though, finds a double. Now looking for a third through hell. Burnout trying to get proactive with it. Finds a body shot through a wall, because 95 damage, sure, that makes sense there. But still a 4v2 and a bomb plant on A, as St. Clair completely switched their perspective.
I think you saved this. If you're Butler, this isn't worth going for. You've got a player on the bottom of the map who's, just, let's be honest, essentially out of this retake. A player towards 7 with the AWP, which is okay, sure, fine. Able to work your way back in, but 4 players, well, I guess we'll ignore that. 4 players left to find in positions that you're essentially not ready to clear, and in the economy that you're going to be motivated to try to maintain. So they'll look to do that. In the meantime, Milk will look to hunt. Oh, sound? Oh no, that's not the weapon you wanted to lose there.
Burnout will drop. I believe that was the op.
Yes.
And that's a problem. And Phantom's not even going to try and take the other op away. Butler, yeah, they have money, but that's money you'd like to spend when you need to, not when you now have to. And St. Clair, that single kill may change things in a few rounds. Not now, it's not a direct impact, but wait a few rounds. And then look back at it. Also, they're now juggling rifles. Make a decision, guys, come on.
Hey, listen, sometimes you can incorporate juggling into the sport of Counter-Strike, right? Style points, right?
True. I heard Butler has a circus major.
Oh. I'm interested. Sign me up.
Breaking news, I'm transferring to Indianapolis. I think that's the halftime show, actually, of the CSGO finals. The circus.
I saw it coming. I'm just waiting for Burnett to pull the trigger, and St. Clair, it's just nothing. Nothing works out for them there, except for Milk. Hanging around towards lobby, pulls the trigger to find one, but the legs have been spotted onto Abyss. That attempt to lurk out towards A, it's been extinguished at the very least. And okay, bomb in hand for Milk. With a weapon that he feels very comfortable using, we know that to be true. 47 seconds to work it into a bomb site and actually win the round. What are the opportunities and how? I mean, let's be honest, Butler would have to make mistakes to get us to that point.
Milk's just gonna casually ace clutch here. Don't worry about it. 30 seconds, he's got this. I've never seen him lose these. Granted, I've seen very few games that Milk has played, but Milk has now walked in, has a smoke for the bomb plant, but doesn't know that Hut is currently occupied. Easiest spray through the smoke possible. Viking finds a kill. I have now seen Milk lose those, so it's understandable. St. Clair lose a lead, but Butler only narrowly ahead still with that buy-up available for the St. Clair Saints.
Double up on the CT side. I'm not sure how I feel about that on Nuke. The reason being, the ops aren't the greatest when it comes to actually going for kind of intermediate rotations, or when you're rotating back down towards B for a retake, for example. Op's not really the thing you want at hand. The T's could be in a very advanced positions really early on. We're talking about situations towards like the double door, for example.
You hit that.
Yeah, I know. It was through the wall though. You can see it on the container. Oh no, Alls gets punished for it too. But double up setup so far has yielded no kills, just damage, which can be great if you've got nades to follow up, but when they don't find the frag either, might come back to bite you in the butt.
Your lack of frags lead to the ability to frag with frags, but when your frags don't frag, how are you going to frag?
With frags.
Exactly. It's a problem. St. Clair, now without that frag found, have 3 HP left on Rye, and availability to try and take B. A weird split is set up here. They want to go ramp and decon/double, and ramp is going completely undefended. Petro does die, so apparently it was defended, but I'm honestly not sure where from. Phantom gets a kill into Milk. Apparently Kyan had fallen down the ramp before actually trying to take the fight, but is still playing around the general vicinity at least, and finds another. It's a double for the second of the 2 ops. And St. Clair, it's a 2v5 to even go for this. Honestly, I just save, keep the AKs.
Maybe, maybe not. They'll make the decision though, and Ryan finding the first on the bomb site. They're not ready for the second, but the smoke might just obscure the plant anyway. Oh, the bullet's missing too. Take it with the find. All of a sudden, this retake's made a case for itself as Ryan finds the player on low HP as well. Situation just needs to continue to play out. The timing working out just barely to reposition. The op not connecting for that shot. The bomb being stuck for the defuse. No headshot though.
Oh.
And Phantom's got the frag, and Butler, I think they've got the round because he's got the kit. Okay, it looked scary, about as scary as it could be.
And when you're looking at that fight and you're saying, Rye, open the door, if you try and do that, you have to open the door and immediately take the fight. Because as soon as you open it, you know they're going to hop off. And you have low HP, you need a headshot or you lose. And that's a problem now. Butler is in an odd position. They do still have a lot of money, but only on 2 players. St. Clair will be able to buy up, sure, especially off the bomb plant, but they're running out of mulligans. They don't have any. You lose this, you're looking at 14-11 without money available. You're probably having to give up map point to Butler just to be able to purchase back.
Grenade will steal away 9 points of damage. I think happy to only take that much for sure. Abyss as he falls out of a dangerous situation, but outside, the smokes haven't landed, and gunfight set to be taken here as Tango will swing off the back of his teammate, and that's the first kill in the round, though Petro and Rise somehow, they follow up duels to send them out towards the A site. Viking trading back will fall into an aggressive position, conceding the safe bomb site, but leaving Burnout. There's no way to contest with. Rotating back, they might just be considering the save already.
They should. This should be a save just about every day of the week. And there's no easy way to say this, especially for Butler. You cannot even try and take a fight away. You know that St. Clair is not in the best of situations economically, but honestly, neither are you. You lose that op or you lose that M4, and you're having to buy up another rifle that later on you may not be able to afford. Every single gun matters. When games get as close as they currently are, St. Clair's going to bring it back to within 1. And Butler's up against the ropes, but they're also swinging for the fences at the same time.
Okay. Good frags. St. Clair, they'll be able to afford the damage dealt. They're definitely worth it to try to hunt for these kills, though. Rich enough to where it might not matter. This game's still close. Butler CT side, while successful, has only been able to hold on to this lead at a very close margin. This could still go either way, and this is really a pivotal round for that. Looking at what Butler come back into this with. Low money for Viking, for Cayenne, and for Ninja. This could be a make or break.
Opening kills all important in these straight 5v5 gun rounds. St. Clair cannot afford to give away real estate either. They have to be proactive, and unfortunately they've been a little bit too much so. No flash, no smoke, nothing. Just a dry shoulder peek. And what is Milk doing? Flash goes a little bit too far. The reposition from Burnout works nearly perfectly. And now, St. Clair's in a 3v5. Now, granted, these are not impossible by any means, but when you've lost Milk, who's been a fragging power again for your squad, currently 18 and 17, sure, but is popping off in clutch situations, you need that.
Yeah, the Milk outside was supposed to blind a mini player so that he could swing for the frag. I just don't think he was expecting to swing back out with AWP again, but I mean, he guessed wrong and it cost him his life. 50 seconds left. St. Clair, they've got no map control. They've got no presence. They've got the man disadvantage. Desperate for a kill to get back into this. Eventually, the time will take enough to where they'll have to make something on their own terms. And that term is going to have to be Petro. Working his way through many, this kill would mean everything. And with the headshot coming out, it's a split out towards A. It'll need to be. Eventually even down towards B if they can afford it.
You just walk through hut. Wait, Abyss is gonna get a bomb plant here. There's not all that much they can do about it. They smoke off the backside, but Viking finds the kill, no bomb plant. Down to 13 seconds. Petro does not find the kill that they needed to give themselves full site control, and the 1v2 does not go their way. Butler bring it back from the brink. It was a 3v5, of which you thought they'd fully lost control, but Viking gets proactive, denies the bomb plant, and puts the time against St. Clair once more, and Butler are now 2 away from sending us to Inferno as a decider.
It would be a great map with the way we've seen these players playing tonight. We seem to be on equal ground now when it comes to actually the aim battles themselves, and so let's see how it plays out. Deagle's outside for Petro. This is an aggressive angle. There's 3 players here from Butler to actually contest this. Measure the swing through up the back of that Viking. Not good for the kill.
Petro fights a double. What in the world is that? Deagle only, really, for them. The extent of a purchase here for the St. Clair Saints is a UMP and a few hand cannons. Another one of those hand cannons is torn away. Kyan, again, on the ramp holds strong, but falls back. Patience playing in their favor, but they still want to try and find these kills, and it'll cost them their life, and most importantly, a rifle is given over. Tango, I think, saw the drop down in hell, is lucky to be alive considering the shot raining across their nose from Ninja, but Ninja now looking to swing, lucky just the same. 3v2, favoring St. Clair, now just 2v1. Phantom's left alone, but time is on his side, as they had to recollect the bomb.
Now they've got it. Phantom, as time continues to tick, he's going to lose track of the situation, but because he's down towards B, he'll have an idea of what's actually going on. The A site seems to be in danger. Actually, the drop or the plant of the bomb will reveal their intentions, but I mean, down from this B bomb site, how do you really rotate back through? You can come towards the vents. Ever so dangerous angle. That smoke might start giving him some ideas.
Does he see Abyss? That's the question. If he goes up here, does he see Abyss foot? If he doesn't, he's probably lost the round. He doesn't look like he's noticed anything. And the sound cue is there. They now occupy the top side of rafters that'll almost certainly go uncleared, and the hut. And that's the kill from Abyss. The uncleared side of rafters gives St. Clair the hold on A. And they brought it back to within 1, and they have the money to buy up this time around. But look at Butler. They really don't. The extent of the money on their side is Kyan.
And they're not going to buy it. There's literally no way. Why would you? There's so much to lose here if you come into this round with the investment. Viking will buy a Nova. I'd like to know why, but I guess we'll move on from that. An early ramp hit from St. Clair. A good situation for the 5-7 to find frags, but it's got nothing.
Thin air is all that Butler's gained after that first fight, and maybe an early grave for one of their 5 players. St. Clair's still in a pretty good spot, but Butler try to go to the bottom floor. What does St. Clair do here? The answer? Also go to the bottom floor, but with their superior weaponry, there's not all that much Butler can do about this. Vikings bought up Nova, may try and get proactive here, deny bomb plant, but they're a little bit too little, too late. And they're actually rotating to ramp for some reason, because, you know, long fights with shotguns work out more often than not. He's dead.
Yeah, this seems to be the expected outcome for the most part, that Nova's gone. USP not good for that last kill either. Only Petro going down. This is St. Clair tying up the scoreline, but doing it a really good situation. Petro's on 31 kills, by the way. I haven't been keeping track, but that's insane.
Wild. And St. Clair has had those singular player pops-offs as well. Petro, I believe that's 2 for 2 on 30 bombs. This time it took them almost 30 rounds. Last time around it was, what, 25?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Butler, still in this. But look at this buy. They lose this, you look at their money, it's gone. Yeah, they'll have probably $2,400, $2,900 a player. Caveats are Kyan and Ninja. But they drop this, you're probably looking at 16-14 or a hero requirement.
And that's not the first kill you want to lose, albeit the damage has been dealt. This could be useful because the remaining weapons on the board of Hamas. Listen, MP9, you only need a couple tags to take out 2 of those players, as previously mentioned. And what control do St. Clair has to actually work with? They've got a player outside, okay. But Vikings, he's hanging around. If they start popping out, this is easy pickings for him. And with the remaining util on this T side, okay, they've got lots of it, but to put themselves down towards this B side, it would take some willpower, and you'd be risking a lot of spray through those smokes as well. Petro. Even right there, the kill is one thing, but the utility lost is arguably even more so important. The trade, they'll try to do it. The flashbang doesn't connect with the swing. On the timing is good. Kills towards heaven as well. Viking swinging back in towards hut. He's in a good position once again. But where do they commit to this? The bomb planted for the back of the site. And the player in through heaven to fight for it. He's got it. He doesn't quite drop the bomb though. And Viking now in contention for the 1v2. He pushes through the Molotov, and he's got both.
Somehow he finds both. The Molotov I thought was going to shut him out, but I was about to bring it up. He only had an SMG for the first 20, 40 seconds of that round. After finding the kill in through hut, he switches out for the AK. I thought the low HP was going to be the determinant. No, it was that element of surprise. And Butler somehow are on map point. They win this, we're looking at Inferno. St. Clair have money. Absolutely. They will buy everything they could ever want and more. I guarantee you there's probably a few Zeuses, because why not? But this is a round that Butler has the momentum, and I think, honestly, most importantly, the CT side for.
I imagine we're going to see a lot slower pace this round. If you're St. Clair or Butler, you're not really looking to make mistakes here. You want to take the time to make sure that this is the most important decision of the game. Look at the stalemate outside. Butler not willing to fight this. Inside towards Mini, Phantom is just waiting to be swung.
You can see Vikings on the far side of that as well. Waiting around towards the spawn side. I like this patience. Butler, sometimes you see teams who are on map point get a little over-aggressive, a little overzealous, sometimes a little overconfident. That's not the case here. Vikings just playing patient. They haven't seen anybody, though. The extent of the person they may see is Milk, and that could be fairly close before they die, but Viking actually finds the opening kill. The op and one of the MVPs here for St. Clair is dead. A follow-up from Ninja. Abyss is taken care of. Ninja finds a double. That very well could end Nuke and send us to Inferno. It's Rye left alone. They will walk out of hut only to go 6 feet further under. Butler make it 16-14 as all of regulation was required, but they will still force a third map.
Oh, what an exciting one that was, too. I think with the way it started, we were... actually, with the way it started, we knew immediately it was going to be close, right? Literally the back-and-forth affair for 6-7 rounds. It took us into what was an exciting lead to the second half as well. St. Clair seemed to have been popping back, and it was close the entire way back through. But just at the very end, Butler pushing it over the line. It comes down to that clutch, too. If they don't win that, we're looking at St. Clair pushing through the entire series, but that leads us into Inferno. And with what we've seen here, that should be an absolute banger.
Especially with how clutch Butler was when it came down to it. You see Viking lose that fight, Butler doesn't have money, St. Clair has all the cash in the world, and you're looking at 16-14. Just this time, it's to close out a series rather than to push it further forward. Inferno is now a requisite to decide who takes on Drexel in just a few days' time. We'll find out who moves on to that round of 8 and who is sent home when we return. Welcome back to the NACE Star League CSGO round of 12 in the spring 2023 playoffs. Sometime late, still joined alongside me here is Birdie as they bring back Nuke. Butler able to bring it back from what nearly seemed the brink on 3 separate occasions and win it in all of regulation to force us onto Inferno as a third map of play.
Yeah, exactly. Inferno, with the way these two teams have been playing tonight, honestly, it could go both ways. It could go really dominantly either way. I feel like we're going to see one of the other, as in, like, I don't think we're going to see a 16-9. I feel like we're either going to get to the OT margin of things, or we're going to see, like, a 16-6. Like, it's just, like, completely blow out. I don't know. Something that tells me that, like, this has been a relatively long series, I feel like. Not because, like, okay, like, 16-9 doesn't seem that long, but that 16-14, like, that felt like a pretty long game. The rounds were drawn out a lot of time. We didn't see, like, we saw a decent amount of post-plant situations on both maps as well. So coming into this, we could be starting to see some fatigue. Some of the better players might start to be popping off. Some of the players that we haven't seen perform as much might start to show up a little bit more, right? We might start seeing the clutch situations come into fact a little bit more. That's, the Inferno coming into play, right? There's so many things that change.
Or Petro may just keep things consistent and drop another 30 bomb. He's 2 for 2 and 30 bombs through 2 maps of play, because why not? And I want to get your opinion, especially coming into Inferno. You said it's going to be a blowout or just close, and about as close as things can get either way. Do you have a specific favorite coming into this? Because honestly, momentum-wise, it seems like Butler, but strats-wise, on more default maps, it seems like St. Clair is ahead.
Yeah, so I think Petro coming into this, if he does end up kind of carrying over his performance into this third map, wherever he's going to be on the map is just going to be locked down, which is the problem, right? And so, Knife Round on your screens, because this is that third map, we need to figure out who's going to start on what side. I think Petro's really the key factor. Wherever he is going to make the T side a lot more difficult to take, right? And wherever he is on this D side, it's just going to be that much harder to hold, right? That's kind of the nature of things. But if he's not showing up, then maybe it's something to abuse, right? Either way, I didn't quite track who won out the knife round there, but it does seem to be St. Clair starting out on the CT side, which is a good place for them to be, though it didn't seem to be that way last map.
They need the CT side to come out of the gate swinging. It's similar to Butler, as we saw in our previous map. If Butler is dropped out early, they're going to have difficulties coming back. We've seen it in rounds prior, and maps prior at that. But look at St. Clair, just patience this time around. And look, I think it's Dooley's up on top. I'm not 100% sure. I think that's a set of Dooley's. It is indeed. There for Rise. 1 and a second as well. It's actually Abyss to find the double. And a 1v4 for Phantom. Bomb is recollected second time around, but they have to fight with 2 players on that short side. And Rise finds a double. Dooley's are the best weapons in the game. Technically best weapon, because you can buy them both at the same time, as they combine in the pistol round. Pick up 4 kills.
I wish you could only buy one, you know? I wish you could just have one Beretta.
$150 dually? That would be weird, I feel. Because aren't they like $300 now?
Yeah. It would just be fun to, for like $150, have a pistol that like fires really slow, but like, I don't know, is kind of insane. You know what I mean?
For the USP?
No, because the USP, you can spam it. But the dual Beretta's recoil is just straight vertical, so
That's true,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know. But P90 is Tango, you know, classic, trademark it, you know?
What is Butler waiting for a written invitation to either site? I mean, understandable. You're kind of scared, but St. Clair's just waiting.
It's part of the reason why these maps have taken so long.
They are patient and sometimes to a detriment. What do they do here? It seems like A is the call, naturally. But
so, if they had any utility, it would be a nap spot. They have that apartment's control, you're on pistols, why would you not go throughout the apartments? But when you don't have the utility to flash yourself out, it's just a death trap, right? So they're waiting on some re-aggression. It's quite common in situations like this for the CTs to maybe retake some brackets. Oh, that's some information. That's definitely going to push them over towards Arch, at the very least, if not fight back for banana control on its own. Look how aggressive St. Clair being. They're done being patient.
They want to go. Unfortunately, they're going to an early grave. Viking with a double, and an M4 now retrieved. That was the only rifle in this round, and now Butler has it. Reminder, they lost the pistol and now have better weaponry. There's the SMG swing, but Tango's P90 is removed. And now Ninja needs to win this fight, but they won't. Rise does bring it back. 1 versus 2 up against a P90 and the M4, the better of the 2 weapons that were bought into this round here for the St. Clair defense. And Rye now has to play against them. Backfire now here for the Saints Academy. The swing from short is not there. A 1-for-1 trade needs to be, but Rye plays proactive. Kyan will shut it down. No head armor, no armor whatsoever for Kyan. A single headshot would have been their life loss, but St. Clair cut away and Butler bring back a nearly full saved up second round.
Not again, please. Not again.
Welcome to Nuke, ladies and gentlemen.
I refuse. We're living in a simulation. We all know this. This was all predetermined. We knew this was going to happen. Whatever, right? That's a lot of utility here from St. Clair. Almost all the utility. Just towards Banana. That might be trying to give some attention towards the fact that, hey, maybe we forced back into this, right? But that's really not the case. Rice still got $3,000 to his name as, well, Butler University find themselves in an awkward position towards the apartments, but right, only connecting one shot there. I think both parties are happy to get away alive as Abyss brings the Galil back into his arms, and the bomb for some reason dropped in towards Mexi as Viking swings back through for a double. Okay, starting to get back to normal things. Though the way we got here is a little bit strange.
You know, they say you're in the Matrix when you see the same thing twice. I've seen chaotic starts to maps that shouldn't go the way they have on 2 separate occasions. So, regardless of what anybody tells me, we're in the Matrix. I don't care what anybody says. Don't care.
So,
and
to carry off that, so you have the red pill and the blue pill. Can I take the chicken pill?
The chicken pill? Probably. Yeah. I mean, there's got to be eggs around here somewhere. There's no way there's just an alarming amount of chickens.
You
with
think
no
there are this
eggs.
many chickens? There's something, right?
You know, right. Wait. Hey, Valve, for Counter-Strike 2, I have a new game mode.
I would like to throw eggs at my opponents.
Yes, it is pick up eggs off the ground and melee otherwise.
Otherwise?
Yeah, if you can't pick up an egg from a chicken who's dropped it, you can only melee.
So that's just reskinning the snowballs that are already in the game. But whatever.
Yeah,
I digress. Listen, St. Clair, they've got a rifle coming into this, and for some reason, the rifle is not in the hands of the player who's full of armor.
Either of the two.
Yeah,
That's weird. Double nade, that lands. Abyss takes like 75 damage and now is forced away. But there's no rifle here. Apparently there doesn't need to be. Petro finds one, and they're baiting in Milk. The extra swing from Abyss drops another gun, and they want to try and follow up. Milk has now retrieved the Galil. They've been seen in the close quarter, but they still win the fight! It's a 3v2, and they've picked up 2 rifles. St. Clair are actually on the front foot, and they barely spent anything other than buying an M4 on Tangoat, who hasn't even seen anybody this round.
not just that, but I think as Phantom dropped out of the apartments just then, I think Rye might have heard it. And so maybe some information as to where the remaining 2 players are. That smoke, I don't think that hit. I think it moved his mouse slightly, but yeah, gap on the left there, but I mean, not going to matter. They're not going to use it. It will, however, be a rotation of Tangoat, the only other remaining rifle that's not on the A site, over towards that destination, and Phantom's got utility here. Does he dare use it?
Do they clear him? I don't know if Rye's gonna go noticed here. Just waiting patiently, still wins the fight, and has support from Tango. St. Clair walk into the round with Deagles and an M4A4. They walk out of it with a Galil, an AK, and the aforementioned M4A4, and most importantly, the round victory.
What does that remind you of?
Nuke, please. Not again.
Keep that in the
Where's
back
the
of your
chicken pill? Where's the chicken pill?
mind. Can I take both pills?
I-
Is there a rule that
As-
says I can't do that?
I feel like aren't they contrary pills though? I haven't watched The Matrix in a while, but don't they do opposite things? Wouldn't they just
Yeah.
cancel out and you basically do nothing?
Double negative, maybe so. First kill gonna go the way of Butler though, and getting away with it fairly clean too, but they haven't really won too much of the back of it. That, however, is a different story. Apartments now securely obtained in the hands of Butler and a Molotov to prevent Abyss from trading his teammate in a rough situation for Petro to fight with back 10 at close range, and trying to jump over the top is not going to find himself any success. This is a great opening for this T side.
Start rifles only here for Claire, and only 2 of them. Weird spot. Butler will walk forward, find one. No, it's Rye with a triple now on the A side, and I don't know if they're going to be able to trade him. He still has 11 bullets in the AK. The flash misses. He's now playing on the backside of Pillar, and Viking's none the wiser to his new whereabouts. The swing around the middle box, but Viking wins the fight. 1 versus 2 for Abyss, certainly possible, but no utility other than a single flashbang, and he has a kit, but the head armor may cost him against Ninja, who has picked up the M4A4.
Does he dare? He does. Goes for the fight, but Viking's just too strong, finding himself 2 of the bomb site there towards the end. And this round should just not have been as close as it was. Bernie walked into the bomb site with a knife out. Part of the reasons why Abyss was able to find those kills. I believe it was Abyss, right? I'm not stupid. Was it Riz? Was it Rye?
Rye.
Was it Rye? I take it back. Yeah.
But Abyss was the last one alive.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, part of the reason why Riz was able to find those kills was just Bernie walking into the site with his knife out. Not necessarily sure why, but hey, listen, things happen. And they happened.
Somehow that nade, even though it was only about 3 or 4 meters difference, only did about 10 damage. Counter-strike. Rye, I think, has seen 2 players. That, or they're about to swing again and die to 2 players. One of the 2.
Yeah.
It seems like he has indeed seen those 2 players, and will now play a little bit more patiently in mid. Over-aggression here for St. Clair would probably cost them the round, unless you find some magical kills with Deagles. Smoke towards Moto. Butler want to go to A. If they can clear Rye out of position, they're in a good spot. The Molotov will land. So will a kill from Kyan. Shots towards this cubby position. Petro, the last line of defense on the A side, will fall. It's Tangoat alone, who does find a kill and has picked up an AK, but he needs to find 3 more, and it's just not going to happen. He's completely, absolutely domed. I don't know if you have more dominant adjectives, but... yeah,
no, what I do want to describe, though, is, or I guess question is, why is Milk still hanging around? This is a 1v4. He's got no way to the bomb site, no kit to work with. His time continues to tick. Not only do you stand to lose this op, you stand to hand it over in a round where following it, you'd be broke.
He's dead. Kyan finds the kill. Nice swing off of a teammate's contact, and Burnett will regain the up. And otherwise, Butler wouldn't have really had money to buy one. Maybe Viking could if they really wanted to. Phantom wouldn't have had the cash. That's weird from St. Clair.
There was so much to lose there. I genuinely don't understand that. That doesn't seem characteristic of the way St. Clair have been playing. They've been aggressive, but it's been calculated. That's an oversight at best.
Flabbergasted. St. Clair now on to USPs only. Not a single dime was spent in this round, and I don't think they're going to make it worth a single dime, much less the suppressors on their weapons. Nice kill from Ninja after Molotoving off Milk, who was not able to play aggressive off the back of it. Burn it with the follow-up, and it's a 1v5. I've also never seen Rye lose these. I've also never seen them in a 1v5 situation with a USP. Now I have, and it didn't go very well.
Now you've also you haven't seen him get a single kill in the 1v5, so...
True.
Now you can only do better. There, but yeah, what do you, I'm curious. I saw, I forgot who was kind of half-wall there towards Banana, but it popped into mind. What do you think it feels like to get shot in the head with a USP and just be okay?
Weird. I feel like you're in one of those situations where it's like an out-of-body experience after having a bullet to the face and you're just fully conscious. Like, sure, yeah. I'm okay. Here's returned gunfire.
It's like when you wake up from a dream, like it's like a sudden wake up, like you're falling. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like.
Yeah. Butler. Oh, this is going to be weird for them. Oh, Rye, perfect timing. Get out. Or worse timing for Butler as they walk in, depending on how you look at it. They've dedicated a lot of utility to gain very negligible map control. They've walked into apartments. They have the front side of apartments. And then they have most of Banana off the back of almost all of their utility. The extent of what's left, 4 smokes and a few flashes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, just 5. 5 flashes, 4 smokes, and that's all she wrote for Butler for the next minute.
Thanks. Exchanged. I'm surprised Rye gets out of there alive.
He did more damage.
Yeah, somehow. But you can see that Dinks actually motivated the rest of this Butler side to move over towards A. We'll be more than happy to do a Moto Smoke to come through. Contact from Arch, though, could be everything. The bomb's in rotation as it swings through for that first kill. No good for anything else. The apartment Slork not finding impact as well. This might not be worth committing to at this point, but the time tells a different story as they enter the bomb site Viking with that second frag, and all of a sudden, once again, St. Clair might just want to consider backing off. A kit in hand, but what do you have to get in? It's a flashbang. Up against 3 players. Okay, the damage has been dealt. That smoke surely seals the deal.
Well, oh, and Milk was caught out in mid. He had no idea Ninja was just chilling in second mid because why not in a 2v3? Who needs tradability on the site? They're trying to get a flash in through the smoke. Abyss has brought one back. Ninja's on full HP, but the last player on the site, that being Kian, is left alone on just 11 points of health. Flash over top misses as Abyss catches the timing on the swing, but I mean, you have a kit here, you shouldn't go for it. At this point, back away. Don't even give the opportunity to take the AK, and they will. St. Clair is being torn apart on this A side. At this point, you either need to put 3 players directly on the site or a 4th in the general vicinity. Also, how in the world does Kyan die to that bomb, but they don't die to the bomb on Ian Nuke? Granted, they have 11 HP. Sure.
You also remember the bomb radiuses are different for different maps. For very good reasons. Remember, the bomb radius on Inferno was raised so that you couldn't just, play for exits. Or I guess the CTs could play for exits every round instead of just hiding on the other side of the map. So, different kind of philosophies of how the bomb should behave on different maps. But St. Clair, this hasn't been a good start for them. We're seeing an overall lack of pace for them. Obviously, the utility and the subsequent economy hasn't been very good to kind of back it up, but general direction, especially with this opening duel, seem to be favoring Butler en masse.
It's really just St. Clair playing with one hand tied behind their back as well. Unless, of course, you decide to grab your pistol with both. I suppose it's probably a good idea considering it's the hand cannon. Decent bit of kick on that one. But St. Clair still, it's really just Eagles, and this is not a round you're walking away with a good shot at winning. Ninja may even be able to find a knife. No, it was Abyss turning, so they were forced to take the actual kill. And Milk finds a consolation prize, question mark, but I mean, Burnout's on 10k, so.
St. Clair. Okay, Milk's back on this AWP. Hasn't really pulled much into this game so far, only 3 kills. But that's a weapon that he's been powerful on this entire series. Pulled this back through St. Clair might have a case. That's really what I'm looking forward towards here, but over towards B. Contact potentially as well. First shot gonna go his way, disappear. Classic.
Mo gets out. And as does their support staff, Abyss makes it away with their life as well. Butler's in an odd position now. Losing Ninja, who's been your main entry in a lot of these fights, that's a problem they should have to build off of. Granted, they've played fairly sporadic. Everybody's finding kills here and there. Rai is very close to taking a fight with Phantom, who is looking in the general direction, just not directly where he is. But the walk-up for Phantom actually costs him his life. Rai finds a follow-up. And St. Clair, I think for the first time in, a calendar year, have a 5v3.
Has it been that long? But working his way towards CT, though, Butler, I mean, okay, no, this is a good angle for Milk regardless, but positionally, this is going to benefit him in the long term. Rotation also coming back through. Everything is going to come down to how Viking picks this next fight.
Oh, has been seen. Finds a kill. They don't know site is occupied. Petro is none the wiser. And Milk is going to walk out of the smoke and still somehow survive on the backside of second oranges. Viking is the last line of defense, or the last point of attack. Will find one kill, but Milk turns his attention and most importantly strays out of the way. Viking was playing a complex game of hide-and-go-seek, and it turns out he's the one who got tagged.
Okay. It had so much potential there, that entire round for Butler, but unfortunately, right, we move on. St. Clair, they find themselves a way back into this. This half is already going to be difficult to recover. An uphill battle for sure, and Banana Control seems to be the point of contention for now as utilities exchanged. Neither side really coming out worse for wear.
Butler's attack, they're trying to play for a lot more control over towards B again. The problem is they're doing so with a lack of information, and Petro being boosted up. I love this play. First kill found, follow up onto Ninja, perfect spray transfer, and Abyss gets proactive for a third. St. Clair, something has changed. Somebody has flipped a switch because Butler is now being put up against the ropes.
Butler aren't out of this round yet, though. They've still got these two rifles. These players are in 1v1 positions, and, well, that one quite hasn't gone their way, and the follow-up to bait the shot in hasn't either. So, okay, a flawless round for St. Clair. The CT side economy has been bullying them for a lot of this game, so seeing them get these consecutive rounds is a healthy start for them to pull back the rest of this half, the few rounds that are remaining in it. And Butler now starting to look worse for where this is the last of their coffers. The AWP is in the hands of Burnout, but no one's really got enough to invest following this round.
Oak again, posted up with the op. Pseudo smoke, the nade's explosion really covering him off. And there's the walk in. Flash lands Abyss, caught with a nade in his hand. Still wins at least one fight. Viking finds a trade, sure, but Milk is still here. St. Clair have still lost an extra player over towards that A side, so problems are not done mounting for them just yet. They still have to clear Milk out of position, and they're just not going to try it. They will back away, but with significantly lacking utility, and now lacking manpower just the same.
Oh, but the trade back towards mid. Vikings got that entry in towards A. Well, they not realize, though, that there's more defense behind it. Tango hiding the bomb site. They'll have to take the arch path, and there's many options here for Butler to work with. The good news is, with the time remaining, like we're saying, so they're not going to have any idea where they're actually spotted, and Viking puts the bullet straight into the back of Tango. This rotation, AWP for Milk is covered in M4, actually. He wants to go for this.
You try it. Seems like Burnout wants to try and play aggressive as well, does so, but to their own demise. Milk unaware of Pit's whereabouts. That could be a problem for them. Looking the wrong way, and Viking catches him out. Good patience from Viking, not to immediately swing, but to wait a few seconds and have Milk fester. Think and overthink, and then think once more, just to look the wrong way and die because of it.
What's the point of this map where you're looking at Butler's lead and you go, this is almost unrecoverable? Do we ever get to that point? Is 4 rounds enough for St. Clair?
If we reach 11-4, I'm going to say it's both recoverable and unrecoverable for two separate reasons. Unrecoverable because it's such a deficit, but recoverable because it's the Zonix law. Milk misses 2 shots. Third time's the charm.
How?
And Nate over top, he finds another! 1 HP only for Viking, who's dropped down the carpet bomb from Banana. And St. Clair finds 3 openers. Petro is dropped. A follow-up onto Abyss? No way. I'm getting reminiscence of the first part of Nuke, and they still haven't cleared Milk. He's still in Banana. And then, okay, Phantom's dead. Whatever. This is a round. This is a round of all time.
This is one of the rounds of all time?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I can't believe Milk's just allowed to swing that many times and get away with it. What was it, 4 swings and no one shot back? It's not that, like, no one peeked. Just
5.
no one shot back.
That's why. And now... He's just sitting on coffins? I mean...
With 100 HP.
What do you do here on Kyan? You just go? I mean, he's going to smoke off CT. Flash over top, most likely. Milk won't be able to see a dang thing, but he's probably going to take a timing shot. No, the flash misses. Milk misses his opportunity because, why not? This is one of those rounds. And Kyan now has an opportunity to try and take this B site. If he finds a kill into Milk, this is going to be a 2v1 retake, but no. Milk will shut it down. Casual 3k, because why not? After missing back-to-back shots. And Counter-Strike moment. To sum up.
We love it. Butler, this is ambitious? Is that the right word?
Honestly, I mean, if you're gonna buy, they already had nothing. Even if they won, even if they lost this next round, they would have had nothing anyway. They're gonna probably lose this, and then at 6-8, they're gonna have very little as well. This is weird buy, but I mean, if you're gonna go for it, go for it. Viking finds 1. Abyss casually finds a double back, but it's still 2 rifles retrieved. But Tango, with the rotation, finds a kill back, and the flank is there up Banana. I don't think this round's gonna go the way Butler intended. Does Rye clear the double wall, though? That's the real question. If he clears this half full, he's in a decent spot, but no, they're just not gonna clear him. First kill found, and Phantom dead as well. 6-8, St. Clair. 1 away from making it just a 1-round deficit at the half.
There were some troubling signs there once we saw that first kill towards the top of Banana, but the rotations were so quick from St. Clair that there really was never any actual concern. Which is, I guess, good. If the case needs to be made for this to be a close game, that's exactly how you want to be doing it. And another force buy coming back through. Okay, I guess.
Viking just waiting, and I like this Butler decision here. Oh, I did until Phantom died. The plan was to just play together and try and find trade for trade, but Petro's playing above, and they're aware of it, and there's the kill. That's a gun dropped, if it dropped in front of the wall, but I'm not actually sure it did. The walkthrough from Viking, no, he does not retrieve the rifle immediately, but he's still playing aggressive. This should still be a gun in their favor, and Viking will recover the M4.
So the problem isn't the opening duels here. The problem is how do you play out the late round? You've got a minute to work with. You're going to have to regroup because, I mean, not only you lost what could be a potential lurk, but you don't really have the utility to brute force a bomb site. You're going to have to do it off of these rifles alone. And there's 2 players here in fighting that one is between transitioning currently between angles. Abyss needs to hold on for Tango to rotate through, and he does. As he finds those 2 frags, but just needs to hold on. The retake coming underway now. Both players through CT as the bomb is planted. Smoke fades. Viking, I imagine, is going to be the first point of contact.
That smoke goes too far.
Yeah, it was.
That's a lot of real estate now. Flash over. Bruno trying to play active, but only as a scout, only apparently needs one. Milk dropped. Rye's been hurt, and look at the re-aggression. Viking goes towards barbecue. The swing as Rye's dropped. 6-9. Nice half, if I do say so myself, there for Butler.
Very, very good. Especially with the way the kind of opening duels worked for, like, a lot of those early rounds seemed very good for Butler. The middle stage of this half had Butler written all over it, you know what I mean? If you made a scrapbook, each page would just have Butler at the top of the page.
Second half, St. Clair, down 3. Decides to switch for 2 seconds as this happens. Welcome to CSGO and LexiBride not functioning properly. There we go. Thank you very much. But weird spot now for St. Clair. Their attacking side pistols have looked nearly perfect. Actually have been. Technically 2 for 2 on D-sided pistol rounds. Petro's trying to get a bomb plant, and we'll get it. Ninja's taken care of on the backside of Coffins, and a bomb goes down. 3v4 retake. Viking now somehow wins that fight, and Kyan finds another. Tango and Abyss now left alone. 2 versus 4. Phantom shuts it down. Backside of new boxes. It's Abyss left alone. Ace required. Not gonna happen. Now, Butler have brought it back. And with double digits earlier, looking pretty good.
Oh no. So, how do we start off Nuke saying that, oh yeah, we just gotta tell Butler to start off the map strong, and then they'll reverse sweep? Well, second pistol, Inferno's a great way to continue that road, because the CT side starting off with the right amount of money, especially if they win the second round, it could snowball very quickly. St. Clair, there's definitely going to start to be some pressure building to them, because until this point, there hasn't necessarily been that much. They've had the one map in their pocket, so Nuke didn't really have that much pressure associated with it, but with this deficit, there's something to talk about.
It's not a must-win round for St. Clair, by any means. But if they can take some guns away and force Butler to reinvest in this next round, they're in a significantly better spot than they would be otherwise. And there's an opening kill. Burnut's dead with that MP9 in hand, and that's a recoverable SMG that Milk now has in their back pocket. St. Clair has now made this round a little bit easier for themselves. By no means is this easy at all, but Kyan, making it a little bit more difficult, somehow survives? What? He's on 4 health and holding W. Okay, somebody nerf this guy. They've given up the A site because, why not? The walkthrough from Abyss works as he wins a fight from 20 meters against a FAMAS, because, yeah, that happens. Petro one-taps Viking, another onto Ninja! He's not stopping anytime soon. A 2 versus 1 on 4 HP, as he's left alone and loses. St. Clair shock Butler and shut down the conversion round. What is that?
So, after that opening duel with the Deagle, I was gonna say, I was about to say the words like, man, St. Clair are just so good with these freaking pistols, man. Yeah. St. Clair are so good with these damn pistols, man.
Oh my god. Alright, we're gonna take this round to recover, because there's no way St. Clair lose this. Alright.
Oh, yeah?
Hold up.
They've got the rifles, are you sure about that?
Now that I've said that, I just realized Butler now has a 5.7 and MP9s. I'm going to apologize for the Caster's Curse ahead of time, hoping it anti-Caster's Curses it. Because
that's not how that
I
works.
hope that's a thing. It better be. The Kyan's going to play aggressive. MP9, oh, he misses his opportunity. Yeah,
That would have been the bomb, too.
Little bit of a better shot. 5.7 from distance. Finds a headshot onto Tangoat for 65 damage, but not lethal by any means. This has to be quick for Butler. They have to play the element of surprise, and they do go 1-for-1 around towards the short side. This is possible, certainly, but being caught out of position, not ideal. Viking still wins at least one fight, but it's down to Ninja alone.
Please don't go for this. This would be the third gun round we've seen, or I guess third round we've seen this map where an objective save should have happened and just didn't.
I mean, he had an MP9.
Okay,
like,
yeah, I get it, but like... carrying this over to the next round, it's just like... Yeah, I
35 health in the back corner? Does he survive here? I mean, they nerfed him a little bit, but...
I don't know.
No, he dies.
Yeah, I think you need like 60 HP to survive in the back of the bomb site when it's planted there.
It is, if you look at what, that was Milk's HP? I think Milk was on full. He went down to 48, so you need 53 health. There's your fun fact of the day, everybody.
We love math.
This is weird. This is now weird for St. Clair. Because Butler, that saved over SMG, is certainly a possibility to play aggressive with.
Now Butler has the better weapons, right?
Honestly, just single Deagle is going to win it. Viking is somehow going to find 4 kills, and then Ninja's going to pull a 360 no scope with the MP9, because there's no scope with the MP9. Pretty straightforward on that one. And Butler's going to win the round. Because that's about how this series has gone.
See, now you've got me thinking about what would happen if you just put like an 8-time scope on an MP9.
Have you ever played Rainbow Six?
I have, though not for years.
Bandit used to, on his MP7 used to have a 2.5 scope, and it was kind of broken. That's basically what would happen. They'd nerf it immediately. That's the long story short.
Aggression now from St. Clair as they walk out of A. Two-player scene in the pit general vicinity. Abyss not looking the right way, but still wins the fight. All in all, fairly clean. I thought Tango was a CT for 2 seconds, but he's not. So all is right with the world. Tango's going to swing. Viking's going to get demolished. And I can't believe it, but a round in which a team had lesser weaponry is going to end in the way we thought. That's first.
Well, not the way I thought. I absolutely believed Butler was going to win this. You see, he's going to win this right here. No, it's all jokes aside though. I mean, this is a good round from St. Clair. All 5 players alive and an anti-eco. I don't think we've seen that tonight. At least it hasn't been common enough for me to remember it. Starting to bring this back, but this is the next really crucial gun round from Butler. That pressure that was starting to mount for St. Clair, it's dissipated slightly. It's now just lurking in the horizon, though it might catch up to them should this not go their way. FAMAS is in play for Butler. I would say Inferno's a map where that could work out. They've pushed down towards mid. This is aggressive. It's intentional. It hasn't quite worked out.
No, not by far margin. Now 2 players dropped. Abyss is walking through. Viking's been seen and now heard. They should know that Viking's sitting inside a master and, oh, they're caught out. That's a problem. And another one that mounts up and over top. Kyan brings 1 back, needs to activate for another. But this is a problem. If they can't bring another, I think this is a save. Honestly, call here for Butler, back away. Keep your rifles. You don't have cash. And St. Clair's starting to run away with this on the T side. Yeah, that should be the save right there. Run away.
Okay, getting away with this. Holding on to the armor is probably going to be most important here. I'm trying to think, what are Butler missing right now, you know? I feel like St. Clair, like... I thought that they were ready for them to be running down mid. They just won all those right fights. Okay. Moving on. They just won all the right fights, you know what I mean? Especially that follow-up, that 3rd kill towards the apartments, it just kind of puts the nail in the coffin. It's like, yeah. Butler went aggressive, they got punished for it, round over.
There you go. Trying to take this extra rifle. I think they die here. Yeah, they do. That's, all in all, a decent end of the round for Butler. All things considered, it didn't go great off the start. You brought a couple rifles back the other way and are forcing St. Clair to reinvest. Looking at their cash, you still have a couple of players that are rich. Milk could go out, buy Starbucks for a year and still have money because that's what most economic podcasts say. Stop buying Starbucks. Don't mind me. But St. Clair's attack looks good early. And if Butler can find utility usage to force them out of position, and most importantly, an opening kill to shut down the aggression, they'll be a lot more comfortable late round.
So, what are you more likely to buy, a UMP or an MP5?
UMP. I have the MP7 equipped.
Oh.
I have a
Heretic.
cool skin.
Okay.
I have a cool skin.
That's fair. So this controller towards Banana, considering this has gone unpunished by Butler, what's going through the minds of St. Clair right now? You're like, hey, okay, could they be on a save? Like, what kind of weapons are they working with here? Are they stacking the bomb site? These thoughts are really coming through, and so you don't want to walk into anything here, St. Clair. And so we'll see them regroup. That Molotov might confirm something. If it's a bomb site stack, you're probably not going to see that Molotov come through. But you want to be sure. And so with brackets information as well, there's info, 2 players immediately. It's time to pivot back towards B.
They can activate quickly towards B as well. Viking is only sitting here with a CZ. This would be the correct call. There's a single rifle and it's prepped up on top of the fountain. It's an odd position and an out-of-the-box idea, but it could work for Butler. This has to be the go button for St. Clair, and it will be. The CZ on the backside of the smoke, though, still finds a kill. Ninja a follow-up, still waiting on the backside of the fountain. It's Petro in a 1 versus 4. He needs to find this opening kill, and needs to do so sooner rather than later. At least finds one, but is shot through the smoke fairly low. 41 HP, all that's left for him in a 1 versus 3. No utility whatsoever. The time now against Butler, but the man advantage significantly in their favor, and Burnout will finish what they started from long range and through a smoke. Now will finish him out in the open. Butler will retake their lead.
Well earned. That's for sure. Honestly, like, there's so many things there. Like St. Clair saying, it's just, I feel like slight communication with the rest of the team might have made that work a little bit better. They definitely convinced themselves to go to the bomb site because they spotted those 3 players over towards A. But was it necessary to have that lurk in the first place? You know, you spot those 2 players towards pit. You know, at that point, is it worth trying to cut off that rotation? Who knows, right? I'm not one to say. But after that, they start fighting in towards the bomb site, and they don't actually realize who kills them, and it costs some players moving in out of the smokes at the wrong angles to lose their lives.
Riot's close here. If they have a flash that can go up and over top, this is a pretty good start for St. Clair, but no, the activation a little bit too late. Butler will fall back and play for another fight. I like the patience as well for Butler. Something that's changed a lot for them is they've gotten a little over-aggressive when they've had any semblance of an advantage, whether it's rounds, economy, weaponry in a specific round, or man advantages. That hasn't been the case recently, and that needs to continue to be the case, or needs to not continue to be the case, I suppose, in the later stages of this, because there's only a few rounds left. We're looking later stages for St. Clair. Opening kills required. They cannot allow Butler to get those openings and slow them down.
Oh, Viking.
Wow.
Needs to get out of here
That's
sooner
weird.
rather than later, too, yeah. Okay. I'm definitely favoring towards Butler in the situation, sorry. The bomb's in hand of Milk, leaning over towards A currently, but there's not really much behind this. They're relying on this contact play, and Phantom's not going to be spotted until they get up close and personal. But this 2-pronged attack, a fake here on either side could do great things for taking down extraneous Butler players.
That smoke, they may swing off the back of that. They will. Viking, perfect decision. Swing off the back of the smoke, but the rotation's been baited over. A is the call. This is a full bait. Any kills that Petro finds is a perfect start, and a 1-tap across Petro, a follow-up, and St. Clair have a 3v3 post plant. Viking gets aggressive. He's just running in, and he finds a kill anyway. This is a 2v3 now. The op is on the site, isolated at that, but they have backed away. Butler need to go, and they need to catch St. Clair off guard.
I didn't like Petra going aggressive there, and neither did like Viking trying to take things into his own hands at the bomb site. Abyss needs to hold on here. His teammate's not far behind. He's missed a shot. Milk, okay, swings back for 1. Needs to be ready for the close angle, and he is. Another tied score line. This Milk wins out in the 1v2, I think it was. Oh, man. Deep breaths. St. Clair, they pull through, but it's all off the back of that fake play towards B.
And the fact they set that up early as well, they continue to have pressure over towards B while creating A pressure without actually pressuring. It was the ghost effect that played forward for St. Clair.
Yeah.
The fact that they were merely possibly present forced Butler away, and the lack of information cost Butler the round. Swing from Burnout, uncharacteristic miss. The follow-up, however, is there. He drops to 50 HP and still wants to swing, but will do so only to their own demise, losing an extra 14 HP before backing away with whatever is left of their health bar.
You say uncharacteristic miss. I feel like we've seen Burnout miss a lot of those just point-and-click fights this game. I don't know, like, could just be an intuition, but Petro, how can you keep getting away with it, man? Finds 2 to gift to him. Viking just wondering how to get back into this. He's not been spotted, which might be something to work with in just a few moments as they drop out through the apartments, as he does actually find a double. The bomb stuck on the apartments, too. This round still has more to offer.
Burnout is fairly far removed. This is only an SMG. I don't think Viking knows Abyss is sitting in pit. Abyss, all you have to do is swing. Thank you. There we go. Viking's dead. 11-11, and it looks like St. Clair will take the lead. But the op is available, and oh my goodness, Burnout has to grab the bomb. Sorry, they do have to grab the bomb on the St. Clair side. Burnout now looking to swing, but both players in the exact same position. A smoke to get out, and honestly, that should be the round. Unless Burnout can catch him off guard in a different position, there's no easy way in here.
Yeah, I agree. The good news is he's already scoped, and so he can creep up without really causing too much damage to his own well-being, but already divided between angles. It does actually find Abyss on the bomb site, but timing here. Right, we'll go for it.
Oh.
Swings straight onto the bomb, and while Burnout seemed to have been aware of it at the last second, just couldn't quite get the shot off, and St. Clair will take the lead. Ooh, okay. Butler University. MP9s, MP5s on the board, and now it's St. Clair's chance here to take this lead and make something with it.
And we're seeing another MP5. Everybody take a drink. Or don't, if you're below the age of 21, because I don't know what year these kids are.
Also,
but,
could be in a different country, too.
yeah, that's also true. Depends. I suppose where you are, especially considering St. Clair's in Windsor, Canada. So
Yeah.
you are in Windsor, go for it. Ninja, trying to play aggressive, finds 2 separate headshots, by the way, because why not with the MP9? A follow-up swing, he finds 1 kill. Honestly, 1 for 2 there isn't terrible. They still have some sight control. Phantom here with a 5-7. If he finds a kill here, you're looking at problems, but he doesn't. So it's the MP5 and the MP9 left over here, and it needs to be an opening kill. And Bruno just holds W. Granted, to their own demise, but I mean, the fact he finds that 1 kill is pretty funny.
It's slightly amusing, though. I still would advocate for the save in the situation. Butler are not buying into this next round, so these weapons would have had some value trying to, go for multi-frags and banana next time around. But maybe more rifles to drop, not meant to be. 3 players outstanding. St. Clair, another solid round. We're edging closer to the end of the series, TTL, and while there's no clear winner just yet, this does set up St. Clair quite well. Oh, I guess they do have money to buy. I didn't do the math.
It's the round advantage, or their continuous round
they
losses.
have lost a few in a row. Yeah, I was losing track of that.
I think they've won like what? It was 10. Was it 10-5 or 9-6? It was 9-6, right? After the pistol,
Yes.
they lost what? Everything but 1 round. It's a weird spot now for Butler.
Yeah.
Rye actually almost finds that kill. Almost a follow-up as well. Follow-up nade does miss. Actually, it's a smoke lanes right in front. Really perfectly placed, if you ask me. I thought it was just a regular nade. The boost up and over, though, won't find anything because of it. But Rye plays aggressive, uncharacteristically at that. And St. Clair getting caught out. Burdick finds Petru through the smoke as well. This is a problem for St. Clair. They're looking to give up this massive advantage they had. Tango brings 1 back, possibly a follow-up, but the op close range. Milk finds 1 before Bunut brings it back. It's Abyss left alone. They have to recollect the bomb and a lot of real estate, but they've heard Ryan, who I believe has seen them, but no, it's Phantom from behind, and Butler to bring 1 back.
Oh no. Okay, Milk has got 10 grand. The money's not necessarily an issue, despite the fact that 2 of these players are low on money. I think they'll motivate a buy out of this one way or another. Where do you take it? That was a solid round for Butler. They've got an ABP in play again. I think the play from St. Clair actually needs to be just like sit back. That fight towards Banana was forced by Butler, and they came out on top. If they're gonna go for that fight, and if they feel confident they're gonna win it, you kind of just want to let it sit back and let the smoke dissipate, so to speak. But they won't go for it this time, and this actually leans towards A for the Butler side very early on.
Also in odd position, St. Clair committing very little towards the A side as a whole. They've, 1 player in towards the apartments, the rest is mid or B entirely. I like this aggression from Butler. They can bring something in through mid, they're looking at a good round. Somehow Milk survives that and wins the fight? Okay, bro. Whatever. Yeah, back away with your life. And the walk-in, he just continues to get aggressive on 15 health. Because why not? They've lost A site control, and I don't think they fully know they've gained it on the St. Clair side because they're going B. This is another round of all time, I think. Oh, here's the smoke. Ninja's so upset right now.
It's activated the lurk, though. Abyss is already hunting for this frag. I think he's expecting them to save. Phantom not... He's thinking something else. Or not Phantom. This is Ninja, sorry. Numbers could have got confused.
Hold up. Abyss is going to flank Ninja, but Phantom could flank Abyss if the timing goes his way. It's all going to come down to timing, really. This should be a round over. No very easy way for St. Clair to pick this one up. And the shots, I believe, through there. Ninja's low.
Why is Ninja hanging around? This is what I don't understand. There's no good reason for this.
I think he already kind of committed and then realized, oh, there's a possible flank because Phantom heard sound cues on the A side and was like, I'm not getting out, so I might as well try and stick around.
So, but he ran over from the A site and his teammate didn't follow him. So there's definitely something going on here. Like, oh, there goes Petro. Rest in peace. You will be missed. But I don't. It's these small miscommunications where, for both sides, I'm just not quite understanding where these minute details are coming from. And I guess we're coming to a third map, end of the map, in a best of 3 series. These are the kind of decisions that'll get you, and they might actually cost you. They'll pull together this buy, fine, but if your money hurts in the long run, that could cost you the game, the series.
The weird position now for St. Clair. If they have any way of bringing this back, you need something early for Butler, and it's just not going to happen. Viking, however, finds Tango with a Molotov and a follow-up onto Rye after I think he was jumping. He's got 37 kills, by the way. Yeah, I was about to bring that up until he just walked in. Milk has seen Rye on the backside of the boost. I'm not sure what's going on over there. Sorry, that was Phantom on the backside of the boost. Still weird position. Molotov straight with smoke. Flash over the top of that. Sure. But St. Clair's behind, and they're trying to recollect whatever control they've lost. But the problem is, if they want to do so on a B, they still have to walk through Viking, who has 37 kills.
It seems like for a moment Phantom was considering jiggling towards or try to actually spot one of these players, but this is nice, boosting over the top, and it might actually just allow Bernie to get an angle, but the smoke fades as they work their way in. Not expecting 2 players, and the flank activates as well. That's effectively round over for St. Clair. The bomb through the apartments. Petro, how does he grab that second kill? I don't understand. But he's forced it into a 1v2. Will he be ready for a second flank?
No way. Petro, this guy's smart. There's no way. He was aware of the possibility that we saw Burnut in that general vicinity. But with 20 seconds left, he has to go A. And he's going to have to clear apartments to do so. There's no way he fully clears Burnut with that FAMAS. He's aware of the possibility, but he also may plant safe. Burnut would have to fully swing this, and I don't think has the position to do so. Petro is safe for about the next 3 seconds. Unfortunately, he swings to his demise, and Burnut wins the fight. If that's a 1v1, honestly, even though Petro's negative, granted by 1, I'm still taking him in that fight. Because he's been so smart and so consistent for St. Clair. I still take him in that 1v1, and you're probably looking at 15-12 if he wins that first fight.
Look at how equal the players on St. Clair, with the exception of Tango. Each one of them is 20, 21, 22 kills. It's like, well, that's really difficult to pull off, to be honest. And I want to touch on Viking for a second, too. He has 37 kills, but they haven't really been the flashiest kills. He's just been Mr. Reliable when it comes to getting the double kills. I feel like we've only ever seen him get double kills, you know? Like, just... You think he's in a position where it's like, oh, surely he dies, and boom, 2 kills up on the scoreboard. It happens so often.
I think Claire's going to hold the old W up mid strat because why not? And it's not going to work this time around. They've had valiant effort at eco round wins, and this is not going to be one of them. It is a guarantee in both Nuke and Inferno that all of regulation is required. The question now remains, is all of regulation required to determine a winner, or are we looking to go to OT?
And based on the bias coming into this, neither side has an AWP. This tends to favor the T side. And Butler lacking some utility as well. Remain to be seen, but St. Clair not really leaning towards banana. They're going to let this utility simmer. This is good. Put themselves in a good situation, but how do they react off of this? There's 3 counter-terrorists currently towards his B site. That Molotov, slightly confusing, but regardless, they're just going to wait.
Butler's also playing very patient. And I like this decision from them. B-side's a little bit more aggressive, but honestly has been the entire game for them. But just like that, after gaining whatever early control was there, the smoke will dissipate in the next couple seconds, and they're going to back away. Butler's playing discipline. And this is a nice, healthy breath of fresh air for them. As they've brought back a few of these recent rounds, St. Clair, I will remind you, opened up this half, winning 6 of 7 rounds. Since then, it's gone almost 1 for 1 each and every time, with one exception where St. Clair strung 2 together. And Butler did the same.
The fact that we have 45 seconds left and they're still trying to get banana control is it's dangerous for St. Clair. I have a feeling they're at some point going to try to force themselves to do something here, and that's going to play right into Butler's hands. They've got players at off angles, essentially all sides of the map, and doesn't really tell a good story, but someone's made the call. It seems to be the bomb will be recovered and back towards B. They've got a lurk in the apartments of Abyss, so it seems he's backing off for the time being too, but 18 seconds, that Molotov drops. This spells doom for this hit, and Vikings were the first to make contact and the first to find frags. The bomb next to fall as well, and the triple for Viking. And Mr. Consistent as he hits 40 on the map. That bomb, it's not getting put down. This is 15 for Butler.
Save. St. Clair has to run. Save those guns. Look at their money. It's gone. And they don't save Abyss's rifle. Why is he taking a fight? They have 1 gun. I think he died after time as well. If not, it was very close.
I think he did.
But St. Clair has 1 rifle and... No, sorry. 2 rifles. Tango can't buy armor. At this point, drop it to Petro or somebody else. You have 2 rifles and one of them's on your bottom fragger with no armor.
Mm-hmm. Oh no. Someone's gonna try to go for a play on the St. Clair side. It's the necessity. You can't win rounds like this without it. And a need to go huge right with that first frag,
One.
but it's actually Ninja to kill himself in the Molotov. Was that a grenade? I couldn't quite tell.
Molotov.
Either way. It's a kill you take. It's a rifle you'll be happy to recover. Might replace that UMP.
It's only a FAMAS though. I mean, cool rifle, but not cool. It's a FAMAS, and that does mean Abyss and Petro will be able to regain that UMP has now been dropped. Petro's waiting in that close corner. Now would be a really good time for St. Clair to go. They have a 3 or 4v2 on this B side. It's about to be 5. Petro's already gained basically all the real estate they could need, but watch for this close corner. Phantom still waiting, has at least seen one, and Vikings looking to play off the contact. The hero of the game here for Butler needs to now send it into a regulation victory. He's cleared on the backside of new boxes, but still finds the kill. A follow-up cross onto Abyss, but Milk will shut him down. The top fragger from map 1 finally reactivates here on Inferno, and it's a post-plant scenario in a 2v2.
Oh no. You smelling what I'm smelling, TTL? The wind's carrying
OT.
with a scent that I'm feeling. We're looking around number 30. We're looking at 2v2 in the post plan, and overtime's looming. Bomb continue to tick. The 2 kits here to work with, but there's nothing else to force these players out. The gunfight will do so, and Milk wins it out. It's just Kyan, and the bomb has been Molotov, despite the fact that he's got that kill. I don't think he's got it. He'd have to stick for the side, and wait, is that it?
Got it.
He's got it! Okay, Butler University! After a gruesome best of 3, they pull it back in the third map, a reverse sweep. And after the way that Vertigo went, we were not expecting to be here.
Why do you swing from banana?
No thoughts. You disappointed? Yeah. Alright. Well, let's break that down a little bit, right? What was the reason why Inferno was so chaotic, right? We saw Nuke was like back and forth, especially at the beginning, right? We saw Inferno was back and forth. And so let's talk about your disappointment. How did we get to this point? Tell me the story of Inferno.
The weird story of Inferno was always Butler playing with confidence early. Even though St. Clair was doing something similar, they had different ways of exuding that confidence. Butler played a little awkwardly, especially around Nuke. That's why it was so close. They honestly had a little bit more opportunities to close it out earlier on, but they couldn't do so because St. Clair was able to just play aggressive and catch them out, those aforementioned chaotic scenarios. But the difference between Vertigo, most importantly, and Inferno was Butler's patience. Their ability to play around trades, refrags, and I think most importantly, catching this St. Clair Academy off guard is what put them where they are now. If St. Clair is able to play a little bit more freely and gain real estate without having to dedicate as much, especially on that T side, and they have more utility to dedicate, they can catch more players off guard, you're in a weird spot. But that time it just was not the case. And I'm going to say it because I'm a little flabbergasted. If you're in maybe my situation right now and saying, how in the world did that happen? You need to look back and say, how do you come back from that? Or if you're a team that may or may not have just gotten knocked out of the round of 12, I don't know, maybe like St. Clair Academy. Just BetterHelp is probably the best bet for you. You remember, your mental health matters, and NACE is sponsored and partnered with BetterHelp to make it easy for you to start your therapy journey. Through live sessions via phone or video or even live chats at your convenience. You can click the Twitch panel below and get 1 month free. Just scroll down on full screen the stream if you already have it full screened and send it low. And I have to say, I'm a little surprised here, Birdie, but all in all, a clean finish for Butler and Viking, I think most importantly, as it was 43?
Something crazy.
42 kills?
Something tells me that he's using Corsair gear.
Maybe. I mean, hey, Corsair is at the top of the game with the latest innovations in peripherals. NACE Star League, powered by Corsair. You can click the Twitch panel below as well, or type !Corsair in the Twitch chat to check out the latest gaming gear. I think St. Clair probably could have used it, especially after that final map, and possibly the lack of Corsair gear cost them. We'll figure out what helped Butler when we get an interview after. Some unfortunate news, there will not be an interview after this one. Some technical problems in the backside on both sides, unfortunately, will remove that possibility, but does give us an extra opportunity to close out not only this series, but unfortunately the stream, because our OTSU GMU game has been rescheduled / is scheduled to now play off a stream. Some technical issues between the two teams and the sites of Pop Flash and Face It, making things nearly impossible to get the game on stream. Just a few problems mounting now here, Birdie.
Yeah, a few problems, and I'll kind of pivot here off of that. The first one starts with the next opponent for Butler. It's going to be Drexel. That's definitely the biggest problem they have in mind, because while, okay, this is a nice victory, you put it in your back pocket, your 2 map wins are 16-14, which is outrageous, by the way. That's what a crazy way to reverse sweep. St. Clair are going to be feeling destroyed after that. And then to come off the back of that and realize that your next opponent is realistically the expected champion of the entire league, you've got some prep work to do. Because you and I, we both saw some things coming into this that were concerning. We thought for a massive duration that St. Clair should have been the team to come out on top. And so those are gaps that you need to fill if you're going to be taking on a team like Drexel.
Especially with the map pool problems that may very well haunt Butler. Picking
Yes.
Nuke and winning it and playing Inferno does not lead one to a championship victory. You need to expand just a little bit, and I think we saw that a little bit later on in Nuke when they started to expand the strat book, and on Inferno when they started to adapt very well to St. Clair. Before we move on and start to close things out because of the lack of interview and following series, Birdie, before we move on to not only the end of this, but to the start of tomorrow, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, overall, listen, I think this game delivered a lot more than we were expecting coming into this. I was expecting St. Clair to probably be a little bit more active. I think you were as well. I think we both expected them to actually come out on top. Butler, but as always, though, a surprise. Viking comes to the table and just does Viking things. That last map performance was outrageous. It should not be happening in any normal circumstances. And I said coming into this, listen, they lost out in that... They lost out in the championship plans because of that factor, but I'd rather not having Viking as a factor, but boom, shows back up, shows everyone what he's got, and it's the reason they're able to move on.
Well, before we move on, some housekeeping things just the same. If you want to remove the 3 from your URL bar and move on to twitch.tv/NACE Star League, you can see a different first-person shooter. We have the round of 8 in Valorant going on the main stream. That's it here for Birdie and myself. I have been Time Delight, our production staff, super cool people in the background. One Green Tea running observation. Samter, your producer for the night. Tomorrow is more playoff action on both streams at that, starting at 2 p.m. Eastern, Rocket League, then Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and Overwatch 2 on the mainstream, while over here it's first-person shooters all the way through, as it's Call of Duty for twice, Rainbow Six Siege, and Counter-Strike to close out the day. That's both Saturday and Sunday between the 2 streams. We're gonna get out of your hair. Hopefully you join the mainstream for some more Valorant action. If not, hopefully we see you tomorrow for some more Counter-Strike playoff action here in the NACE 2023 Spring Start.